gift that has been given us, and that we need to take advantage of this gift to learn how we listen to one another and not get caught up into wedge issues.
Your AccuWeather.com forecast, a thunderstorm or two around for this afternoon. Otherwise partly sunny, high 92 today. Some clouds and a low of 77 tonight. With your AccuWeather.com forecast, I'm meteorologist Heather Zayer.
This is 1017 FM and 710 KEEL. KEEL, Shreveport. The KEEL Morning Show with Robert J.
Good morning. It's 6:03. Robert and Erin, 101.7 FM, 710 KEEL. Down the other end of the gopher-shaped table, Erin has local news, and it is next.
Bad news for Cyport. We'll talk more about that. Caddo Commission talking about a fence today. And did anyone hit the Powerball?
Now, I know you just kind of teased that Cyport thing, but can I ask you a question?
Sure.
Within days of the opening of the new aquarium, Cyport is no more?
It's coming back. It's not permanently closing.
We'll explain. Plus Fletcher's sports, traffic, and weather all coming up this hour, and it's right here on KEEL.
KEEL Morning Report. Now on 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL.
Cyport in Shreveport is shutting down while its nonprofit board makes management changes. The Planet Aqua Group, who is opening an aquarium at the old Barnwell, will take over management of Cyport. The board of directors will pay $113,000 a year to Planet Aqua to run the facility. Now, because of the changes, all 72 Cyport employees are being let go. The new management company is planning a job fair to hire new workers for when the Science Center reopens. No Powerball winner last night, so the jackpot climbs to $510 million, the sixth largest jackpot in U.S. history. A man's been arrested in connection with two shootings. Matt Parker has that.
Tyvon Taylor has been arrested in connection with two Shreveport shootings from earlier this year. Detectives believe that Taylor is responsible for a July 31st shooting on Buncombe Road and an August 12th shooting where two people were wounded. Taylor faces several charges, including attempted second-degree murder and illegal use of a weapon. Taylor is also a suspect in several other crimes, and more charges are expected. From 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL, I'm Matt Parker.
Two men seriously hurt in an explosion at the Impressa Energy Plant in Benton. Fire Chief J.T. Wallace says the men suffered second- and third-degree burns to the upper halves of their bodies. The explosion happened when an employee accidentally bumped into a tank, exposing a highly combustible gas to an open flame. A state appeals court has reduced 76-year-old Roy Robertson's life sentence to 20 years. Robertson was convicted of repeatedly raping 3 young girls, ranging in ages from 6 to 14. 2 of the victims lived with Robertson locally in Caddo Parish. Now, due to the court's reduction of Robertson's sentence, he will become eligible for parole. Governor John Bel Edwards expressing disappointment that former Klan leader and former state rep David Duke is once again making national headlines. He says he doesn't want Louisiana to be colored by that bigotry because Duke does not represent our state.
Everybody who knows much about him knows that he's from here, but that sort of hatred, bigotry, racism is not who we are as a state, and it is embarrassing.
Caddo Commission meeting today. The future of the Confederate monument in front of the courthouse is not officially on the agenda, but there is a plan to build a fence around the courthouse. That is one item up for discussion. Meantime, the mayor of Dallas has appointed a committee to look at the future of Confederate monuments across his city.
I believe this problem that we face is really a gift that has been given us, and that we need to take advantage of this gift to learn how we listen to one another and not get caught up into wedge issues.
Mike Rawlings calling for a task force to study the issue of what to do about the public Confederate monuments in Lee Park, and Pioneer Plaza. He expects a report in 90 days. China has warned there is no winner in a trade war after an aide to President Trump advocated a tougher stance toward Beijing in public comments. Turns out the mishap Tom Cruise had on the set of Mission Impossible 6 was serious enough to shut down production of the movie. Paramount says Cruise broke his ankle while performing a stunt for the film during a London-based shoot. Partly cloudy, could see some showers today, high near 92 degrees. It's 75 now. I'm Erin McCarty on 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL.
Good morning. It's 9 past 6 o'clock. Robert and Erin, 101.7 FM, 710 KEEL. First time traffic. Here's Ruben.
Hey, everything's still running nice and smooth for your early morning drive to work or school, but look out later on this morning for some traffic delays on Benton Road, just north of I-220 in Bossier City. If you have any accidents, hazards, or closures to report to us, please give us a call at our Planet Fitness Traffic Hotline, 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather.com forecast, a thunderstorm or two around for this afternoon. Otherwise partly sunny, high 92 today. Some clouds and a low of 77 tonight. With your AccuWeather.com forecast, I'm meteorologist Heather Zaire.
Good morning. It's 11 past 6 o'clock. Robert J. Wright and Erin McCarty on 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL. The KEEL app is, as I like to say, sounds awesome, and it's a free... Stop. Pardon me. Let me, before you begin the wringing of hands...
Offer condolences?
Before you hurl yourself
off the Jimmy Davis Bridge
onto the blades of ill fortune, give me just a moment, okay?
Go ahead.
101.7 FM, 710 KEEL, and the KEEL app presented by Office Furniture Source. Would I be correct? Just stop a second. Would I be correct in assuming that despite the purchasing of prayers that you made yesterday of loyal KEEL listeners. I sound like Elmer Fudd there a little bit.
Yeah, you did.
Very strange.
I will shoot you.
Okay. So you didn't win the Powerball.
No, I didn't win. No.
And
Nobody
on the
won.
on the 1 to 10 scale,
Bill Gates didn't get to it either.
on the 1 to 10 scale, how seriously, legitimately disappointed are you?
Way disappointed. Way disappointed.
You thought you were going to win, didn't you?
Yes. I thought that was my secret sauce. Let listeners help pray and share in my wealth. And a bunch of them did.
I said, what prosperity gospel have you suddenly embraced? You're Joel Osteen, you're Creflo Dollar. God wants me to have a bigger plane. What on earth are you thinking?
I hate that you say that because do you know what I Googled last night?
Oh, boy.
You're going to think I'm really crazy today.
Next, what is it?
Today.
What's the private jet plane? There's Marquis Jets.
A Lear? Is that what it is?
No, but there's a jet rental thing.
Oh,
I'm not talking rental.
Marquis Jets, Net Jets is what I'm thinking of.
No. I searched for Cessna Citations for sale. And, thank you, Matt, for mentioning, and Learjets for sale. And you can get a decent one for about $4 million.
Well, let me tell you something.
Seats about
and this
10
is
people.
just a little bit of advice. Because you're going to go through this again on Saturday.
Yes, I am.
And trust me, I know people who fly Net Jets and Marquis Jets, which is where you put the money down like at the beginning of the year, like you put $1 million down.
Yeah.
And then you go through your $1 million because flying on private is about $8,000 or $9,000 an hour.
Yeah.
Okay? So you go through your $1 million, and then they start sending you a bill after that.
Mm-hmm.
But trust me, how many friends do you know? Well, you, for example. What do people always say? The best day of my life? No, the second best day of my life was when I bought the boat. The best day of my life was when I sold the boat.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay. You don't want to own your own plane.
Well,
You want to
the problem
timeshare your
is-
plane.
The problem is I have a friend whose husband is a pilot, and I was already going to hire him. He was going to be my private pilot on call, pay him $2,000 a month or whatever. Then every time we take a trip, pay him extra. But have him on retainer whenever I need him, and have my own plane. He'd go out and help me pick it out. I nearly texted her to say, who's your husband working for now, and what would it cost me to get him?
Who will your husband's next former employer be?
Yeah.
I hope everyone is watching the Facebook stream right now.
I'm so
because
bummed.
Erin's facial expressions and how disappointed and dejected she actually is.
It's so
it's
real.
Those
amazing.
planes are so gorgeous.
It's so
they have
real.
these big plush leather seats. They have the table that comes out in front of you.
The reason they
and
cost
where you
$10
can
million.
put your wine.
Reason they cost $10 million.
They have like two facing each other.
She sounds like
Then
Goldfinger. She sounds like Auric Goldfinger.
They have a little jump seat behind them. I mean, it's just fabulous.
I can hear it now. No, Mr. Wright, I want you to die.
And then would you like to know what else I Googled?
Do I have a choice?
Oh, MG. OMG. Not that I need it. Not that I would really use it.
You mean like a plane?
Yeah, you got a point. I want a beach.
This was completely absurd.
I want a beach house. That's one of the things I want. This time I thought, what's the richest city I could buy a house in?
Either New York, London,
I've done the New York search. I'm over that
New
one.
York, San Francisco, or Los Angeles, maybe.
Uh-uh.
Singapore, Hong Kong.
Aspen.
Really?
I was looking for a pad in Aspen, and it had to have 2 hot tubs or it wasn't on my list.
Isn't that a John Denver song?
And I was looking
for a pad in Aspen.
Wait, and I was wanting
2 hot
it.
tubs or more.
I wanted it to have its own landing strip where my plane could land. I mean, I spent all this money last night. It was spent.
Oh, believe me.
I am a nutcase. I am a freaking nutcase.
Okay, hang
Preaching
on a
to
second.
the choir there.
As we are streaming on the Keel video on the Keel Facebook page right now. Put the camera on her.
Oh, it's been on her the entire time.
and say for us, I am a freaking nutcase.
I am a freaking nutcase.
Now put the camera on me.
Hold on, I gotta give over. All right, there
Okay.
you go.
Yeah, okay,
We
thanks.
know.
So the jackpot for Saturday night,
Did anybody win?
no, is $510 million.
$500 million.
It is the 6th largest in U.S. lottery history for
Well, I
the
know
Powerball or
what,
Mega
everybody
Millions.
knows what numbers you're playing.
Yeah, I have the same numbers. I'm going to play them again.
So what strange stick a pin in the doll theory are you going to come up with for this
Matt,
weekend?
we got to come up with something even better.
What do you
Don't
mean?
look at
What
me.
do you
I'm not
mean
involved
we-
in your insanity.
Hang on. Let me call Bishop Duca.
Come bless my Powerball
Maybe he
tickets.
can say a prayer at masses for me today.
Can you come in and, break out the holy water and the incense and do a whole ceremony?
Good idea. Think we can get that good smelling incense and he can sprinkle me with that holy water like 80 times?
At least 80 times.
Oh, man.
It's going to be an awesome day.
Oh, yeah.
Erin more
Woohoo.
disappointed. Erin McCarty more disappointed than a employee at Cyport.
Head in hands. And y'all are in the $1 million
What,
club. You
what
should be
the-
disappointed with me.
What on earth happened at Cyport? Hold the thought,
Yeah.
because you're saying one thing, you go to one website and it says another, then your story says something else, and we seem to have conflicting stories about not only what's happening yesterday or today, but in the next 30 to 60 days. So we will discuss that when we get back. Has a Shreveport icon fallen by the wayside, and if so, for how long? Maybe even forever. Check when we get back. Plus, traffic and weather updates. Well, let's do traffic right now. Here comes Ruben, 101.7 FM, 710 KEEL.
Everything's still running nice and smooth for your early morning drive to work or school, but look out later on this morning for some traffic delays on Benton Road, just north of I-220 in Bossier City. If you have any accidents, hazards, or closures to report to us, please give us a call at our Planet Fitness Traffic Hotline, 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather.com forecast. A thunderstorm or two around for this afternoon. Otherwise, partly sunny, high 92 today. Some clouds and a low of 77 tonight. With your AccuWeather.com forecast, I'm meteorologist Heather Zaire.
Twenty-one past 6 o'clock, time for KEEL Sports. Here's Tim.
Good morning from the sports desk of 1130 The Tiger. This is Tim Fletcher. All three local golfers in the U.S. Amateur were eliminated on Wednesday. Sam Burns was knocked out by Shea Wools Cobb 2-1. Burns won the 15th and 16th hole, but needed to win 17 and 18 to force extra holes. Nathan Johnson was eliminated 3-2 after the opponent he was facing reeled off wins on the 14th, 15th, and 16th holes. But the just gut-wrenching match of the day, Philip Barbary Jr. falls one up to Will Zalatoris, who rolled in an incredible birdie putt on 18 to take the win. Zalatoris also chipped in for birdies on 10 and 12 and rolled in yet another long birdie on 11 to maintain pace with Barbary before putting him away on 18. The Texas Rangers doubled up the Detroit Tigers 12-6 on Wednesday. Nomar Mazara had a two-run home run in the second and added an RBI in the sixth inning as well. Joey Gallo crushed yet another homer as well in the eighth inning. Former LSU Tiger Mikey Matuk had a two-run homer for the Tigers. He's hitting 300 for the year. The Astros beat the Diamondbacks 9-6. Carlos Beltran had a homer in the second inning, and the Astros put 4 runs on the board in the third, 4 runs on the board in the eighth to take the 9-6 win. And the Saints have fired their team orthopedist after they misdiagnosed Delvin Breaux's injury, calling it a contusion when actually he had a broken leg. From the sports desk of 1130 The Tiger, this is Tim Fletcher.
24 past 6 o'clock, Robert J. Wright and Erin McCarty. It's 101.7 FM, 710 Keel. I don't know anything about this. Okay, I was so off the radar, off the grid, under the bed yesterday, whatever term you want to use. Is Cyport closed?
No.
What was Cyport closed yesterday?
They closed for an event yesterday, a news conference to announce plans about the future of Cyport.
So they closed yesterday to announce that they're going to close.
Not close. They're going to revamp.
They held a news conference yesterday to announce that they're going to reorganize after a short and temporary closing.
They're going to be closed after, here's what there is on their Facebook page.
Go ahead.
They're going to be closed after September 4th. Cyport will remain open and operational through September 4th.
Labor Day, right?
When it will close down so that a major and magic construction can take place.
They actually use the word magic?
Yes, they
Is
did.
magic free or is magic going to cost
Magic's
us?
going to cost some money, but it is now going to be run by the Planet Aqua Group, which runs the aquarium.
So
all employees are being let go.
As
72 plus employees.
Marky, what did you see about that on one of the other websites?
That all 72 employees are going to be laid off, and to get their job back, they have to go to the job fair, which they're planning for November, I believe, just like everybody else. So they're getting fired, and if they want to keep working at Cyport, they're going to have to go through the process.
What kind of reorganization is planned? Was this announced? So it's the people who are going to operate the aquarium, a private entity, is going to take
PAG.
Going to take over Cyport.
They're going to be running it. They're going to be paid $113,000 a year to run Cyport.
And I think the contract is for 2 years.
So basically, whatever Cyport costs to run, and whatever expenses it takes to upgrade Cyport, I would assume, according to the specifications of the new company, the new private entity running the.
Now, it's a little bit different because the Cyport board will remain in place, and the Planet Aqua Group management team will report to the board.
Okay, so this sounds like a disaster waiting to happen.
This is troublesome. They're having a huge toast event December 31st when they hope to have Cyport. That's their big unveiling and grand opening.
The board. Maybe you can't tell me this.
You're the Planet Aqua Group. I'm the board.
Right.
I've now gone out and hired you to run Cyport.
Yeah, but you still have veto authority over what I say.
You have to come back to me with any of your plans. And I have to say yay or nay.
So literally,
and I have to fund it. I'm the board. I've got to provide funding.
Right. Okay. So literally, I'm going to be paying. We're hiring a consultant. We're paying a minimum $112,000 a year plus expenses.
Right. And I would assume this would do away with the upper management at Cyport, an executive director, a marketing team, those kind of people would be gone because Planet Aqua Group has their own team like that.
So the current condition of Scyport, and many have been critical of the current condition of Scyport.
Sure.
If we assume for the moment that those criticisms are valid, is Scyport in the condition we currently find it because of underfunding, because of mismanagement, because of a lack of vision, because the people on the board or the people in management currently are too busy doing other things?
I don't know. Here's my red flag. Mark this date down, okay? Because I always say things, and later they come true, and you go, man, you said that
like I'm going to win the lottery, but that's but I digress.
Did you have to do that?
Sorry.
If you're the Planet Aqua Group, you're a business. You're running a business.
Right.
You want the aquarium to succeed.
Well, and if you're getting money, if you're being paid, see, that's part of it. What you're thinking in
what's their priority going to be?
What's the spiff for Planet Aqua?
What is their priority going to be? They're going to now have to market both entities together because they're getting paid to run this one. So you're coming to my new fresh one. Here's a $5 ticket. Go across the street.
But wouldn't you bet that that Planet Aqua at some point is going to get a piece of the action too?
At some point. It's only, what, a 2-year deal, Matt? Is that right?
Yeah, 2 years,
Okay.
what's being reported.
But if I'm opening a brand new aquarium, that's my focus. I want everybody at my aquarium. Oh, God, I'm running this little joint across the street, too.
Scyport, the redheaded stepchild.
Yeah, if you want to go over there.
That's some kind of racist or
I don't
politically
know.
incorrect remark.
So that worries me a little bit. How much attention is the Planet Aqua Group, or PAG, how much attention is Scyport going to get from
Is anybody
them?
but you calling them PAG, by the way?
No, it's it's everywhere.
629, 101. No, it's everywhere. 1017 FM, 710 Keel. Here comes traffic. Here comes Ruben.
It is once again the best time of day to get from A to B because everything is all clear for your early morning drive to work or school. But look out later on this morning for some traffic delays on North Market near North Hearn Avenue. If you have anything to report to us, please give us a call at our Planet Fitness traffic hotline. That's 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather.com forecast, a thunderstorm or two around for this afternoon. Otherwise partly sunny, high 92 today. Some clouds and a low of 77 tonight. With your AccuWeather.com forecast, I'm meteorologist Heather Zaire.
Power of information. KEEL News now.
Still no winner after last night's $430 million Powerball drawing.
For your winning Powerball number, we have 4 tonight, and that power play multiplier is 3.
The next drawing for Saturday night is up to $510 million, the 6th largest in U.S. history. A man's been arrested in connection with 2 shootings. Tyvon Taylor arrested in connection with shootings from earlier this year in Shreveport. Detectives believe Taylor is responsible for a July 31st shooting on Buncombe Road and an August 12th shooting where 2 people were wounded. Taylor faces several charges, including attempted second-degree murder and illegal use of a weapon. 2 men seriously hurt in an explosion at the Impressa energy plant in Benton. Fire Chief J.T. Wallace says the men suffered second- and third-degree burns to the upper halves of their bodies. The explosion happened when an employee accidentally bumped into a tank, exposing a highly combustible gas to an open flame. A local kids museum abruptly closing its doors. Matt Parker has that.
Scyport and Shreveport has shut down while its nonprofit board makes some management changes. The Planet Aqua Group, who is opening an aquarium at the old Barnwell Center, will take over management of Scyport. The board of directors will pay $113,000 a year to Planet Aqua to run the facility. Because of the changes, all Scyport employees are being let go. The new management company is planning a job fair to hire new workers for when the Science Center reopens. From 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL, I'm Matt Parker.
Counsel for a Better Louisiana President Barry Irwin says we now know that Superintendent of Education John White had no reason to worry about his job. White got a 3 out of 4 rating from Bessie, which is considered effective and proficient. Irwin says clearly there are those who wanted White to lose his job.
They've tried through lawsuits. They want to have some kind of confirmation hearing, which the law doesn't really allow in the particular setting we're in. So there are people that want to get rid of John White, and that's kind of been that way for a while. But he works for Bessie.
Republican leaders condemning the messages of hate and bigotry carried by the KKK and white supremacists, but tiptoeing around President Trump's extraordinary comments on the matter. The statements reflect the party's establishment's delicate dance. Few top Republican office holders are defending the president, yet they're unwilling to declare all-out war against Trump and risk alienating his loyalists. Tickets have been selling so well for comedian Kevin Hart's show at the Municipal that officials have added a third performance. That'll happen Saturday, October 21st at 10 p.m. Tickets are on sale online at Ticketmaster or at the Shreveport Convention Center. Partly cloudy, today's high about 92, maybe a shower popping up. Right now it's 77. I'm Erin McCarty on 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL.
Awful breezy in here all of a sudden. 101.7 FM, 710 KEEL, Robert J. Wright and Erin McCarty. You don't want the fan on you, just on me.
Just on you today.
Well, you know what? It's blowing my hair.
I'm cool. I'm already cool.
I'm like Fabio.
I'm chilling already.
Books. 101.7 FM, 710 KEEL, Robert and Erin. Not a good day yesterday. Not a good day yesterday for Shreveport guys at the U.S. Amateur Golf Tournament.
What happened?
Let's see. Nathan Johnson lost 3-2 to a guy named Arthur Griffin. Philip Barbary Jr. lost 1-up to a guy named Will Zalatoris. I guess he won on the 18th hole. And Sam Burns lost 2-1 to Shea Wolves-Cobb.
Explain that to a golf idiot. 2-1. What does that mean?
So you start off, as I mentioned yesterday, you start off with like 250 guys.
Okay.
I don't know how many there really were, but let's say 200.
All right.
Pardon me. And they play for 2 days medal play, i.e. stroke play.
Okay.
Okay? You keep your score for 2 days. The 64 lowest guys move on to match play. Okay? So now let's say it's you and me in match play in the first round. Just like, think of it as the NCAA basketball tournament.
Okay.
64, 32.
Sweet 16. Okay. Gotcha.
So now they're down to 32.
All right.
So yesterday they cut the field in half from 64 to 32.
But what's this 2-1?
Because you play holes. You don't play strokes in match play.
So if I win the hole, I get a point.
You are 1 up. So
Okay.
let's say on the 16th hole, we're all even. Okay? Let's say 16th hole, we're all even.
Okay.
You in the 17th hole, how many up are you?
I'm 1 up.
Okay. You in the 18th hole.
I'm 2 up.
You win 2. Yes, you win 2 up.
So it's 2-0.
You win 2 up. That's what it's called. Don't
Okay.
don't redo the lexicon. I'm explaining it to you.
Okay.
So when Griffin beat Nathan Johnstone 3-2, it meant he was 3 holes ahead with 2 to play. When Zalatoris beat Philip Barbary, it meant he won the 18th hole. He won 1 up. That means he won the 18th hole, or he won the 17th, and they have the 18th.
Okay, now you messed me up.
What don't you understand? He
3 and 2.
Okay, he was 3 holes ahead
3 holes ahead
with 2 holes to play.
So that means he wins.
Yes.
There's no way you can beat him.
No. I mean, you're right.
Okay, gotcha.
And for Sam Burns, 2-1, meaning 2 holes left, and Burns was 1 behind. No, he was 1 behind with.
Now you.
I screwed that up. He was 2 behind with 1 hole to play.
Okay, gotcha. Okay,
You're dragging me down here.
So
kid.
do you just stop at that point?
Yeah.
If you're 2 down
Yep, you don't
and
finish.
1 hole left, you stop.
Yeah.
You
Why-
just
why
kind of
would you-
walk off.
Why would you keep playing? Match is over. You lose or win.
So they just stop, and the guy who's winning
They
moves on.
Take off their hats, shake hands.
How do they determine who you play next?
By draw.
Okay, so you're like a bracket. There's like
Yeah.
a bracket.
It's if you look at the U.S. Amateur Golf website, it literally looks like you'll understand this. It looks like an NCAA basketball bracket.
Okay, I get that. All right. So you could play 18 holes.
You could play more than
But if you get ahead of somebody by 9 holes,
you could play more than that if you're tied after 18.
yeah, you just keep going till you untie it.
Yeah.
Okay, what if you're beating a guy by like 10
With 9 holes to
with
play?
9 holes to go? You stop.
Then the match is over. He can't win.
So some guys could end really early if they have a good round and their opponent.
That hardly ever
Sucks.
happens. I mean,
Okay.
I had a friend of mine that happened to in the City Am, but we won't talk about that.
How do they do the 200 and some players?
You qualify.
They just go one right after another. They tee off. They tee off. They tee off.
Yeah,
Like-
you qualify at sites around the country, and I don't
But
know.
all these guys are playing at the same course, right?
2 different courses.
Okay.
I think it's 2. It's in Los Angeles.
All right. Very cool. Interesting.
So now that Sam and Philip and Nathan Shreveport guys and LSU guys for that matter all out. So before he goes pro, and Sam Burns has made the announcement that he's going to play professional golf.
Right.
He will participate in the Walker Cup, which is, if you know what the Ryder Cup is
Yes.
for pros, the Walker Cup is sort of the amateur golf equivalent of the Ryder Cup.
Okay.
And he'll play in that. I think it's the 2nd week in September, and then he will see if he
Go
can make.
pro.
Yep, see if he can make the PGA Tour.
Very cool.
639, 1017 FM, 710 Keel. The latest traffic. Ruben is rapid and ready.
Everything's still running nice and smooth for your early morning drive to work or school, but look out later on this morning for some traffic delays on Benton Road, just north of I-220 in Bossier City. If you have any accidents, hazards, or closures to report to us, please give us a call at our Planet Fitness Traffic Hotline, 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather.com forecast. Partly sunny today. A thunderstorm or 2 around this afternoon. High 92. Partly to mostly cloudy. Low 77 tonight. With your AccuWeather.com forecast, I'm meteorologist Heather Zayer.
Good morning, 642. Robert and Erin, 1017 FM, 710 Keel. The Keel app, it sounds amazing, and you can download it for free, and it's presented by Office Furniture Source. I just got a text. Shreveport Security Systems text line, 318-39218. Ow.
What'd you hit on that thing?
You don't need to know.
Oh. Ow. Got him on film? Good.
Shreveport Security Systems text line. Your mic should be on.
Yeah.
Shreveport Security Systems. He always when we all got
can we holler at him?
Turn the mic on. When we got in about a month ago, maybe 6 weeks, we all got our own mic switches.
Yeah.
So we all
we're in control.
Before Matt controlled our mics.
Yeah.
And
he was a screw up.
There was about a 5-day span.
Yeah.
Where we had to get used to turning our own mics off and on.
Yeah, exactly.
So we'd sit here after we were finished talking.
Jabber on.
And both our mics would be on. And Matt would be going. And by the same token, we would forget to turn our mics on.
Mm-hmm.
Who has been forgetting to turn his mic on lately?
Parky.
Yes, he has.
Yeah.
I don't need it a lot, and you don't need to hear me clicking away on the computer and stuff over.
No. We
here.
appreciate. Oh, believe me, we appreciate the fact it's off most of the time.
Yeah.
But when you want to speak, it would behoove you. Is this overkill?
Yeah, a little bit.
Is this just nasty
Little
old
bit
man
much.
overkill?
A little bit much.
Shreveport
Grumpy
Security
old man.
Systems text line 318-392-1884. I just got a text.
Mm-hmm.
Is Cyport closing? Because a lot of folks came in just halfway through the news story or halfway through the news segment.
No. Cyport is not closing. It is closing temporarily after September 4th. It will remain open and operational through September 4th when it will close down, here's a quote, so that, quote, major magic and construction can take place. It's expected to reopen December 31st.
Sounds to me like they've been expecting magic for quite some time.
Yeah.
What plans, now, the people that are going to run the new aquarium downtown, they are going to be in charge. Explain to me and everybody how that's going to work.
The Cyport board has gotten an agreement together with the Planet Aqua Group to run Cyport for at least 2 years.
What is the date? The aquarium should be opening any day now.
It's
next week. I think.
I think it's planning for next week. They're do their final walkthrough tomorrow. Make sure everything's ready.
Have the fish arrived?
I don't know, but I'm trying to work it out because I want to go race a shark.
Uh-huh.
That's my plan.
Yeah.
I'm going to do a video.
It'll be awesome.
Me and the shark, we're going to be racing.
Yes.
And I'm going to win.
Be one of a kind.
Unlike Phelps.
No, he's a loser.
Yeah, he's a loser. I can beat a shark. So I'm going to do that. But Planet Aqua Group's going to be paid $113,000.
Right.
To run Cyport.
To make suggestions. And
they're going to be the management team. They're going to be driving the overriding vision and ongoing management of Cyport.
So basically, they're going to be in charge. But what about the Cyport board? What about the manager? What about all the people that are there now?
Well, the board will stay in place. I would assume the management team at Cyport will go.
Will the management?
All the employees are being let go, and they're going to have to reapply for their jobs.
And you can, and this is a question we can ask later if we can find somebody to talk to us. Do you anticipate that the board will be a rubber stamp? I don't mean this in a bad way. Do you anticipate that the board will be a rubber stamp for the Planet Aqua Group suggestions?
I would imagine so. Here's what I'm afraid may be happening, and I'm hoping to get somebody from the Planet Aqua Group on this morning. They've already hired their team. Now we're told that the Cyport employees have all been told they're laid off. So in these 2 weeks where they're still open, are the Planet Aqua Group team members going to come over and run Cyport for the 2 weeks and just kind of muddle through?
No, I would imagine it's going to be business as usual until Labor Day.
Well, apparently the employees have been told they're laid off. I don't know if that's effective immediately or not, but a bunch of them will go because they're going to have to reapply for their jobs.
And assuming they get to stick around for 2 or 3 more weeks, bluntly put, what kind of effort might one anticipate?
That's the worry. Are you going to be having these Planet Aqua Group people come in and you're getting ready to train your replacement? Saw a piece on 60 Minutes over the weekend about big major companies are doing
obviously,
that.
though, they haven't hired anybody because Planet Aqua Group plans to have a job fair. And the people who are currently working at Cyport are, in the story, invited to apply for their old job.
But my point is some of the Planet Aqua Group people could work at both places. Okay, today you're assigned to Cyport. Tomorrow you're going to be at the aquarium.
Hey, at least, maybe some of those part-time jobs people were complaining about, if that's the case, will turn into full-time jobs.
That could be a good thing.
Okay, so to review, Cyport was closed yesterday, but only to make the announcement that they're going to close for good temporarily in 2 weeks.
Don't say for good, because someone's going to say, I heard Robert J. Wright say Skyport's closing for good.
They will close on September 4th through the 1st of the year.
Well, they're having a reopening December 31st.
Okay.
Well, that's the plan.
That's the plan.
According to them, they are going to do everything in their power to be open by that party, whatever it is.
They're going to retool and give it a facelift.
647, you were waving frantically at the beginning of the segment before I wanted to review the Skyport
I'm
stuff.
thinking we can save this for after 7 o'clock, but the Dallas mayor had some pretty strong comments regarding the divisiveness.
I have a question for you. Because you see cities all across the country now folding like Kleenexes and taking down and moving or loudly trumpeting their plans to study the removal of Confederate monuments. Is that shakedown money? I mean, literally, are they being shaken down by Antifa and Black Lives Matter and Occupy? Are they literally, like the mayor of Dallas, were appointing a panel, a committee? And if you look at the people on the committee, it's bluntly put, it's all these left-wing people. There's nobody from like the Daughters of the Confederacy. I got news for you. There's not a Republican on that group. There's not a historian on that group, I would wager. So my question to you is, are these mayors, we can talk about this later, are these mayors across the country? Did you see the story in Atlanta, by the way? About how the protesters, the vandals, tore up the monument that they mistook for a Confederate monument. Once again.
Oops.
Well, no, that too. But once again, police stood by.
They are now in the Dallas Next movement is to change the names of some schools. Stonewall Jackson School, Robert E. Lee Elementary.
What did I call you about last night?
It's exactly that.
Schools in Louisiana named for staunch segregationists from the 60s and 70s, should those names be changed. 649, here's Ruben.
Looks like I-49 South's got to clear all the way to Alexandria right now, but look out a little later on this morning for some traffic delays on I-220 eastbound near North Market due to construction. If you have anything to report to us, give us a call at our Planet Fitness traffic hotline, 687-ROAD.
Here's your KeelAccuWeather.com forecast. Kind of cloudy and hazy and hot and humid again today. Low 90s. It is 77 right now at KEEL. Hazy and hot and humid again today. Low 90s. It is 77 right now at KEEL.
I'm Rasa Kay with Your Money Now.
It is 8 before 7 o'clock. KEEL Sports. Here's Tim.
Good morning from the sports desk of 1130 The Tiger. This is Tim Fletcher. All three local golfers in the U.S. Amateur were eliminated on Wednesday. Sam Burns was knocked out by Shea, Wools, Cobb, 2-1. Burns won the 15th and 16th hole, but needed to win 17 and 18 to force extra holes. Nathan Johnson was eliminated 3-2 after the opponent he was facing reeled off wins on the 14th, 15th, and 16th holes. But the just gut-wrenching match of the day, Philip Barbary Jr. falls one up to Will Zalatoris, who rolled in an incredible birdie putt on 18 to take the win. Zalatoris also chipped in for birdies on 10 and 12 and rolled in yet another long birdie on 11 to maintain pace with Barbary before putting him away on 18. The Texas Rangers doubled up the Detroit Tigers 12-6 on Wednesday. Nomar Mazara had a two-run home run in the second and added an RBI in the sixth inning as well. Joey Gallo crushed yet another homer as well in the eighth inning. Former LSU Tiger Mikey Matuk had a two-run homer for the Tigers. He's hitting 300 for the year. The Astros beat the Diamondbacks 9-6. Carlos Beltran had a homer in the second inning, and the Astros put 4 runs on the board in the third, 4 runs on the board in the eighth to take the 9-6 win. And the Saints have fired their team orthopedist after they misdiagnosed Delvin Breaux's injury, calling it a contusion when actually he had a broken leg. From the sports desk of 1130 The Tiger, this is Tim Fletcher.
It is 6:56. Robert J. Wright and Erin McCarty, 101.7 FM, 710 Keel. We'll talk about Charlottesville and Antifa and the Nazis and all this kind of stuff after 7 o'clock more. But there is, and I called you yesterday. Oh, man, we don't have time. We got to go to Rush. And I'd called you yesterday about the meme that you see on Facebook defending Antifa. And it's basically the picture of the American soldiers on D-Day, and the caption is, "They didn't need a permit to fight fascism."
Oh, gosh.
Oh, gosh. 6:56, here's Rush on Keel.
Out there, and in some of it, panic levels are rising. Congressional Budget Office weighed in on what will happen in a few weeks if President Trump decides to end certain payments to insurance companies, i.e. insurance company bailouts. The CBO says that health care premiums will rise about 20% and federal budget deficits will increase by $200 billion if we don't spend the money. The White House says that no decision's been made about the insurance bailouts, but Trump is trying to force Democrats to get off the sidelines. He wants them to help come up with a replacement for Obamacare. Now, don't hold your breath on that. White House blasted the CBO report, calling it flawed. The administration pointed out that even if they do pay the insurance subsidies, the bailouts, the premium is going to skyrocket anyway. Besides, the entire issue is still in the courts. A federal judge ruled that subsidies are illegal because Congress never appropriated the money, as the Constitution demands. But the judge stayed his order so it can be appealed. Meanwhile, some facts. Democrats created Obamacare all by themselves. They handed out subsidies illegally by themselves. And now when the massive lies they told America are coming home to roost, they sit on their hands expecting a bailout. The Democrats wrote this check. It's time for them to cash it, again, by themselves.
Are you taking Viagra for ED? Now you can get Sildenafil, the active ingredient in Viagra, in generic 20 milligrams for $2 per tablet. That's a savings of $40 per dose. Marley Drug is a North Carolina pharmacy delivering generic Sildenafil to your door. For information on Sildenafil, go to marleygenerics.com or call us at 800-601-0680. That's 800-601-0680.
I make my Texas superfood from 55 raw, vine-ripened fruits and vegetables. You can see all 55 on TexasSuperfood.com.
All of the nutrients that we need on a daily basis. I lost 60 pounds. I mean, that's huge.
Since I've been on superfood, I haven't been sick.
I'm Dennis Black. Join us on TexasSuperfood.com.
TexasSuperfood.com.
Or call 877-55-TEXAS. That's 877-55-TEXAS. 877-55-TEXAS.
Keeping an eye on some slow-moving traffic on Kings Highway and Linwood Avenue. And we have some traffic delays on North Market near North Common Street. If you have any accidents, hazards, or closures to report to us, please give us a call at our Planet Fitness Traffic Hotline, 687-ROAD.
KEELAccuweather.com forecast, kind of cloudy, increasing cloudy, chance of afternoon rain, highs in the low 90s. It's 77.
Breaking news and trending talk. This is 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL. KEEL, Shreveport.
Oh, that's us.
Yeah, you have to talk.
1017 FM, 710 Keel, Robert and Erin, and local news. She's standing by.
The governor is disappointed today. We'll tell you why. Caddo Commission meeting today, not to talk about the Confederate monument, but to talk about a fence. And some bad news for Cyport fans.
But Dallas does have a plan for its monuments, and we will explain. And you said something yesterday that was awesome about Robert E. Lee High School.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that may come to pass or something similar sooner than you think.
Absolutely.
And more on the Cyport closing, but it's not closing. We'll explain that too. Fletcher in sports, traffic, and weather all this hour right here on KEEL.
The KEEL Morning Report, now on 1017 FM and 710 KEEL.
Governor John Bel Edwards expressing disappointment that former Klan leader and state rep David Duke is once again making national headlines. Edwards says there's no place for that kind of hatred here, especially those who spew bigotry and claim it's somehow patriotic. He says brave American men and women defeated the Nazi movement during World War II.
This whole idea that you can be patriotic and a Nazi at the same time, I mean, that it is the antithesis of patriotism.
Meantime, the mayor of Dallas has appointed a committee to look at the future of Confederate monuments in his city.
How do we go about listening to our community so at the end of this process, we are better united versus ending up more divided?
Mike Rawlings called for a task force to study the issue of what to do about the Confederate monuments in Lee Park and Pioneer Plaza. He expects a report in about 90 days. Caddo Commission meeting today. The future of the Confederate monument in front of the courthouse is not officially on the agenda, but a plan to build a fence around the courthouse is one item up for discussion. Cyport in Shreveport has shut down while its nonprofit board makes management changes. The Planet Aqua Group, who is opening an aquarium at the old Barnwell, will take over the management of Cyport. Cyport expected to close after September 4th. All of the workers, 72 of them, will then have to reapply for jobs. The board of directors will pay $113,000 a year to the Planet Aqua Group to run the facility. Because of the changes, all Cyport employees are being let go. The new management company is planning a job fair to hire new workers for when the center reopens and around the first of the year. A man arrested in connection with two shootings. Tyvon Taylor arrested in connection with a couple of shootings from Shreveport. Detectives believe Taylor is responsible for a July 31st shooting on Buncombe Road and an August 12th shooting where two people were wounded. Two men hurt during a plant explosion. Matt Parker has that.
Two men were seriously injured in an explosion at the Impressa energy plant in Benton. According to Benton Fire Chief J.T. Wallace, the men suffered second and third degree burns to the upper halves of their bodies. The explosion happened when an employee accidentally bumped into a tank, exposing a highly combustible gas to an open flame. From 1017 FM and 710 KEEL, I'm Matt Parker.
A state appellate court has reduced 76-year-old Roy Robertson's life sentence to 20 years. Robertson was convicted of repeatedly raping three young girls ranging in ages from 6 to 14. Two of the victims lived with Robertson locally in Caddo Parish. Due to the court's reduction of his sentence, he now becomes eligible for parole. Counsel for a Better Louisiana President Barry Irwin says we now know that Superintendent John White had no reason to worry about his job. White got a 3 out of 4 rating from Bessie. The closed-door meeting on the evaluation lasted for 4 hours, and there were no public comments and no objections. Irwin says critics didn't even raise questions about whether White needs to be reconfirmed by the Senate.
Clearly, they don't have a supermajority on Bessie to offer him a new contract, but they have a majority on Bessie that still want him to be the superintendent, and I don't think that was expected to change, and it didn't.
The rating for White is considered effective and proficient. The top U.S. military officer says a military solution to the North Korean missile threat would be horrific, but allowing Pyongyang to develop the capability to launch a nuclear attack on the U.S. is unimaginable. Saints defensive back Delvin Breaux has a broken leg, and the club has reportedly fired 2 doctors who allegedly got the diagnosis wrong. No Powerball winner, so the jackpot climbs to $510 million, the 6th largest lottery jackpot in U.S. history. Partly cloudy, could see a shower popping up, 92 for the high, 77 now. I'm Erin McCarty on 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL.
Nine past 7 o'clock. KEEL traffic. Here's Ruben.
Avenue just south of Midway Avenue is dealing with some slow-moving traffic right now, and we have some traffic delays on I-220 eastbound near North Market due to construction. If you have anything to report to us, accidents, hazards, or closures, please give us a call at our Planet Fitness traffic hotline, 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather.com forecast, a thunderstorm or 2 around for this afternoon. Otherwise partly sunny, high 92 today. Some clouds and a low of 77 tonight. With your AccuWeather.com forecast, I'm meteorologist Heather Zaire.
Weather is brought to you by Jack Spring Electric. Online at Jack Spring.
Good morning. It's 12 past 7 o'clock. Robert J. Wright and Erin McCarty, 101.7 FM, 710 KEEL. KEEL app's there for you. Free download. Office Furniture Source. It's Presenter. I'm going to tell a little story here, and you'll sort of know what we're talking about. And Matt, grab your mic a second if you have a second. without going into too much detail, in the last couple of days, well, yesterday, as a matter of fact, Matt and I have granted Erin a favor. We don't have to go into it, but you know what you know what your favor is.
No, I don't.
Yes, you do, because you took advantage of that favor during the Fox newscast.
Oh.
Okay, we'll stop right there, and we don't need to go into what that favor that we've done for her is. But I'm going to tell you a little story, and it is definitely applicable to your situation right now.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, and I've told you this before. When I was in high school, a senior in high school, and it's one morning, and it's maybe a couple of months into my senior year of high school, and we're at breakfast, and my brothers are there, and my dad may have already gone off to work. I don't know, but my mom is in the kitchen, and I'm kind of... And I say at one point, amidst the moans, I wish I didn't have to go to school today.
Mm-hmm.
And my mother, I'm sitting at the kitchen table.
This is so cool.
1902 Bay Street, Bossier City, Shady Grove.
Not 1902, the year.
No. The address of the house.
Okay, thanks.
I said, where's my shovel? I got to get to school. Is the buggy here yet? So I'm in the kitchen at the breakfast table, and my mother's over by the stove. And I said, I wish I didn't have to go to school today.
Mm-hmm.
And my mother, as casually as you can imagine, you know that moment in Christmas Story when Ralphie gets in the fight?
Yes.
And he comes home, and Mom just kind of sloughs over the whole thing, and even with Dad, and he says, from that moment on, things were different between my mother and me.
Mm-hmm.
This is that moment for me.
Yep.
So I say, I wish I didn't have to go to school today. And my mother, as casual could be, says from the kitchen, then don't go.
Ooh.
And I sort of sat up. I perked up. I said, what? And she said, I'll call the school for you. I'll tell them you're sick. And I said, really? And she walks over to me and puts her viceroy breath nose 1 inch from mine.
Oh, my.
And she says, you're 18 years old. You can make your own decisions. Don't abuse this.
Ooh.
And I thought, wow, my mother's going to give me a day off every now and then.
Hall pass.
She called the school for me and said, Bob won't be in today. He's a little under the weather.
Man.
But I had to be sure to get my work done. I had to be sure. The point being that literally, like in Christmas Story, changed the world.
Yeah.
For my mother and me and our
She realized you were responsible enough to take care of your business that you deserve every now and then a little break. Isn't that it?
Is the camera on me? Can you see the face I'm making?
Yeah.
What face am I making?
Disbelief?
No. Do you understand? I'm giving you the parental. Do you understand the metaphor, the analogy?
Oh.
We have granted you a favor.
Oh.
Don't abuse
What's
it.
the Spider-Man quote?
Oh,
With great
yeah.
power comes great responsibility.
And she has great power, my friend.
Yes,
and
I do.
People just don't know.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've got lots to talk about this hour, including the Dallas mayor appointing a committee to decide what to do, a committee of leftists, but a committee nonetheless.
Yeah.
To decide what to do with their Confederate monuments. In the meantime, we have about a minute. Can you update anybody you've tried to track down pertaining to Cyport and well, they're getting ready to close.
Yes. Well, not permanently. They're closing temporarily after September 4th, planning to reopen December 31st.
Tell you what, we've got about 90 seconds. Give me a 90-second update. When we come back, we will talk about an interview that we had with Ann Fumarolo earlier this year.
She's the former director.
And that was pertaining to the audit, the budget review, and what we recall about that.
You bet. Cyport will be run. They've hired a new management team. It will be the Planet Aqua Group, which is opening the aquarium across the street.
In about a week or 10 days,
Yep.
I guess.
They're going to be paying them $113,000 a year for at least the next 2 years to run Cyport. It's going to be getting a facelift between September 4th and December 31st, which is the date they plan to reopen. But the employees, meanwhile, are being laid off, and they will have to reapply for their jobs, which is sad. And Planet Aqua Group will hold job fairs for them, to sign up and reapply.
So they were closed yesterday to announce the fact they're going to close in September.
Mm-hmm.
But they will be open between, say, today and the closing date of September 4th, I believe.
Yes, and they have a lot of, what's the thing when the moon goes in between the sun?
It's an eclipse.
That they're having a lot of events regarding the eclipse today and tomorrow. So you can still take those in, but after September 4th, it'll be closed until the end of the year.
One thing that's not closing at Skyport is the IMAX movie theater. That's
good.
Unless I guess something blows up or something bad happens, that's going to stay open through the entirety of the rebuild.
Okay.
Well, you never know what might happen when you're building stuff and tearing things down and stuff. But
19 past 7 o'clock, 101.7 FM, 710 Keel. A little Skyport budget review. And some interesting quotes from the former. What was her job, by the way?
She was the executive director.
Ms.
Head
Morello
cheese.
was the head cheese.
Head cheese, yeah.
At Skyport.
HC.
Traffic update. Here's Ruben.
Hearn Avenue, just south of Midway Avenue, is dealing with some slow-moving traffic right now, and we have some traffic delays on I-220 eastbound near North Market due to construction. If you have anything to report to us, accidents, hazards, or closures, please give us a call at our Planet Fitness Traffic Hotline, 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather.com forecast, a thunderstorm or two around for this afternoon. Otherwise partly sunny, high 92 today. Some clouds and a low of 77 tonight. With your AccuWeather.com forecast, I'm meteorologist Heather Zaire.
Don't let me forget when we come back for the segment, I have a smoking question for Matt, who smokes like literally everything.
Not everything.
Lost a section of carpet.
Salvia's out.
21 past 7 o'clock. Here's sports.
Good morning from the sports desk of 1130 The Tiger. This is Tim Fletcher. All three local golfers in the U.S. Amateur were eliminated on Wednesday. Sam Burns was knocked out by Shea Wools Cobb 2-1. Burns won the 15th and 16th hole, but needed to win 17 and 18 to force extra holes. Nathan Johnson was eliminated 3-2 after the opponent he was facing reeled off wins on the 14th, 15th, and 16th holes. But the just gut-wrenching match of the day, Philip Barbary Jr. falls one up to Will Zalatoris, who rolled in an incredible birdie putt on 18 to take the win. Zalatoris also chipped in for birdies on 10 and 12 and rolled in yet another long birdie on 11 to maintain pace with Barbary before putting him away on 18. The Texas Rangers doubled up the Detroit Tigers 12-6 on Wednesday. Nomar Mazara had a two-run home run in the second and added an RBI in the sixth inning as well. Joey Gallo crushed yet another homer as well in the eighth inning. Former LSU Tiger Mikey Matuk had a two-run homer for the Tigers. He's hitting .300 for the year. The Astros beat the Diamondbacks 9-6. Carlos Beltran had a homer in the second inning, and the Astros put 4 runs on the board in the third, 4 runs on the board in the eighth to take the 9-6 win. And the Saints have fired their team orthopedist after they misdiagnosed Delvin Breaux's injury, calling it a contusion when actually he had a broken leg. From the sports desk of 1130 The Tiger, this is Tim Fletcher.
Twenty-four past 7 o'clock. Robert and Erin, 101.7 FM, 710 Keel. Shreveport Security Systems text line is 318-392-1884.
Say the number again. Somebody complained we don't give the number out enough.
318-392-1884.
Thank you.
What I meant about Matt when I said he smokes everything, there are very few, if any, tobacco products with which of which you have not partaken.
That is true. I just looked up a list of tobacco products, and the only two I can honestly say I've never had is a biddy.
What the hell is that?
What's a biddy?
It's basically a hand-rolled cigarette from India, where they use like an actual leaf. It's kind of somewhere in between a cigarette and a cigar. Never
I'll get you some for your birthday.
Never had a biddy.
Okay.
And I've never had dissolvable tobacco.
Huh? What is that?
It's basically a mint made of tobacco. So, like, let's say you're a doctor and you don't want the mess or having the spit or whatever.
Oh,
You just swallow it.
Yeah.
How good could that be for you?
Yum.
So the reason I ask that is because I have literally, both my parents smoked. So I never had the first urge to smoke because, I mean, I've told you this before. And people look at me like I'm crazy, but understand I am from that 60s, well, I was born in the 50s, 60s generation where everybody's parents, at one point in the USA, it was like 78% of people, men and women, smoked. Understand when I tell you this. My parents, my dad smoked 70 to 75 Lucky Strikes a day. My mother smoked 2 packs minimum of Viceroys a day.
Goodness.
Both my parents, we had this old Timex alarm clock that they would wind up at night, and you could hear from my bedroom, and it would go off in the morning. You know, you remember those old mechanical alarm clocks. Both my parents were smoking before their feet hit the floor.
My dad was like that.
I'm being totally serious.
Yeah.
Both my parents had lit cigarettes before their feet hit the floor.
And do you know something? My mother never smoked a day in her life, but part of her complications at the end of her life was COPD from my father smoking.
Wow.
Yeah.
And he had passed away 30 years previous.
Yes, exactly.
So the reason I wanted to know about this is because Matt knows everything there is to know about smoking. And the other day I'm at Thrifty Liquor, and I'm getting a bottle of wine, box wine, because Notebook was on. And I'm behind.
It was that time of the month.
I'm behind a kid, because you have to be 21. And I'm behind this kid, and he's buying a pack of Swisher Sweets grape flavor.
Ugh.
Now, my first thought is, okay, this kid's taking this home. He's hollowing it out. He's making a blunt. Okay?
Yeah.
Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. But here's my question. How can smoke taste like grape?
It can't. Sort of like grape soda doesn't really taste like grape. It's got a flavor to it that could only be described as purple, and it's because, well, I don't know what else to call it, so we're just going to slap a grape label on it.
Just like Chardonnay doesn't taste like grape, but it's made of grapes.
Yeah, we'll go with that. So yeah, that it doesn't
He's
really.
smoking Chardonnay.
No,
Think of it
actually,
like that.
they make a white grape flavored cigar
Oh, my.
that tastes more like Chardonnay than any grape on the planet.
Man.
But yeah.
So I'm behind this kid, and I'm thinking, well, what if he really just likes the taste of grapes? How could smoke taste like grapes?
Well, they're flavored. They just, if it says cherry or grape or strawberry,
they had cherry also.
None of those flavors actually taste like the real thing. The best thing I can compare it to, like I said, is flavored soda, where the label may say strawberry or whatever, orange soda, but it doesn't really taste anything like the actual
sort
fruit.
of hideous.
I'm thinking mint chocolate chip might help me.
Bluebell Swisher Sweets. Nice. 28 past 7 o'clock. I said we were going to talk about Cyport more. We put that off until the 40 segment because who will join us? Jake?
Jake Wood's going to join us. I got to play you this Dallas mayor, too.
We'll do that when we get back. 29 past 7 o'clock. 101.7 FM, 710 Keel. Oh, let's do a little traffic, kids. Here's Ruben on Keel.
Hearn Avenue, just south of Midway Avenue, is dealing with some slow-moving traffic right now, and we have some traffic delays on I-220 eastbound near North Market due to construction. If you have anything to report to us, accidents, hazards, or closures, please give us a call at our Planet Fitness traffic hotline, 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather.com forecast, partly sunny today, a thunderstorm or two around this afternoon, high 92. Partly to mostly cloudy, low 77 tonight. With your AccuWeather.com forecast, I'm meteorologist Heather Zayer.
The power of information. KEEL News now.
Counsel for a Better Louisiana President Barry Irwin says we now know that Superintendent of Education John White had no reason to worry about his job. Irwin says White got a 3 out of 4 rating from Bessie, which shows a sign of support. He says there's always a certain amount of political controversy around this job.
Especially when we have a superintendent who's very active and who is pushing policies. But again, I think at the end of the day, when the dust settles, he's still our superintendent. He got a very good job rating, and he'll continue on the job.
White will continue to work month to month as his contract was not extended. Cyport in Shreveport is closing down while its nonprofit board makes management changes. The Planet Aqua Group, who's opening an aquarium at the old Barnwell Center, will take over management of Cyport. The board of directors will pay $113,000 a year to Planet Aqua to run that facility. Because of the changes, all Cyport employees are being let go. The new management company is planning a job fair to hire new workers for when the Science Center reopens near the first of the year. A man's been arrested in connection with a couple of shootings. Tyvon Taylor suspected in a July 31st shooting on Buncombe Road and an August 12th shooting where 2 people were wounded. Taylor faces several charges, including attempted second-degree murder. 2 men seriously hurt in an explosion at the Impressa Energy plant in Benton. The men suffered second- and third-degree burns to the upper halves of their bodies. The explosion happened when an employee accidentally bumped into a tank, exposing a highly combustible gas to an open flame. Could a serial rapist become a free man? Matt Parker has that.
A state appellate court has reduced 76-year-old Roy Robertson's life sentence to 20 years. Robertson was convicted of repeatedly raping 3 juvenile girls, ranging from 6 to 14 years old. 2 of the victims live with Robertson locally in Caddo Parish. Due to the court's reduction of Robertson's sentence, he will become eligible for parole. From 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL, I'm Matt Parker.
Governor John Bel Edwards expressing disappointment that former Klan leader and state rep David Duke is once again making national news. Edwards says it's unacceptable that we're dealing with this on the streets of America in 2017, but he says the people of Louisiana don't share the racist ideas of Duke.
I mean, it is truly repugnant and not our finest hour, and David Duke does not represent the great state of Louisiana.
No Powerball winner last night. The jackpot for Saturday now up to $510 million. And there's a new queen at the top of the Forbes highest paid actress list. Michelle Polino reports.
It's a good year to be Emma Stone.
Thank you so much to the Academy.
Stone is this year's highest paid actress, banking $26 million, according to Forbes. The actress beat Jennifer Aniston, who took the second spot with $25.5 million, and Jennifer Lawrence, who came in at number 3 with $24 million. It was Stone's Oscar-winning turn in La La Land that helped lift Stone to the top and gave her the Best Actress Oscar. Stone plays Billie Jean King in her next film, Battle of the Sexes. Michelle Polino, Fox News.
Partly cloudy, the high today about 92 degrees. Could see a shower popping up, 77 now. I'm Erin McCarty on 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL.
.101.7 FM and 710 KEEL, Robert and Erin. Okay, so the shakedown has begun.
Mm-hmm.
So you kind of agree with me.
On?
The shakedown has begun.
If you're talking about schools and
No,
monuments and all that?
Monuments, yes.
Mm-hmm. They're working on it.
So
They're working
you
on a lot of
agree with
changes.
me when I theorize that as mayors across the country, mayors of cities that have Confederate monuments, see what happened in Charlottesville, see what happened in Durham, see what's happening elsewhere, the Atlanta, where they tore up the monument that wasn't even a Confederate monument, that they're looking at these cultural Marxists, the Antifa people, and they're thinking, wait a second, what if they come here? I don't want to riot in my town.
Yeah.
And the way to avoid the riot is to get rid of your Confederate monument. I mean, the implicit threat, because it's out there. You want to riot in Dallas? No. Better do something with those monuments.
Yeah.
So what? Tell me about the mayor of Dallas.
Mayor of Dallas, Mike Rawlings, he essentially is setting up a committee to study what to do with those monuments.
As we try to grow as a city, we can never ignore the fact that race and our racial injustices of the past continue to haunt us, and the institutional racism we see economically every day keeps us from the goal that we have as a city. One symbol of those injustices are public art and statues in some parts of our city. As I expressed before, I think they are dangerous totems in our Dallas society because they divide us versus unite us. It's easy to jump on the bandwagon and say, tear them down, because it's frankly politically correct, and in many ways it makes us all feel good. I feel that way. But I hesitate And the reason is because I realize that the city of Dallas is better, is stronger, when we are united and not divided. So there are really two questions we face. One is, what do you do with the statues? Do you leave them, tear them down, put them in a museum? How do you approach this? The second question is just as important. How do we go about making this decision for the city? How do we go about listening to our community so at the end of this process, we are better united versus ending up more divided? I believe this problem that we face is really a gift that has been given us, and that we need to take advantage of this gift to learn how we listen to one another and not get caught up into wedge issues.
Does a man who refers to institutional racism within his own government, is he calling himself a racist? I guess he is.
In a roundabout way, yeah.
There's institutional racism in Dallas, and you're in charge of the institution. Does that make you a racist? Does a man who throws himself on the mercy of the court in that instance, please don't call me a racist, and please, for God's sake, don't come to my town and riot, because I know that's what you're threatening to do. Does that sound like a man? Does that sound like a man that wants to keep Confederate monuments?
Ooh, now they're also talking in Dallas about renaming schools. One is Stonewall Jackson. Another school is named Robert E. Lee Elementary. That's the next step in this, at least in Dallas.
Rawlings' proposed task force relating to the Confederate monuments will include consultation from the Truth, Racial Healing, and Transformation Team. Does that sound like somebody that's going to say, we need to protect history? I would bet not.
Maybe not.
739, 1017 FM, 710 Keel, traffic and weather just a couple of seconds away, but
we're going to talk about Cyport. Jake Wood joins us next.
Right now, here's Ruben.
Starting to see some of that backed up traffic on I-20 westbound at Spring and Market, and we're looking at some traffic delays on Mansfield Road and West 70th Street. If you know something we don't, accidents, hazards, or closures, please give us a call at our Planet Fitness traffic hotline, 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather.com forecast. A thunderstorm or two around for this afternoon. Otherwise, partly sunny, high 92 today. Some clouds and a low of 77 tonight. With your AccuWeather.com forecast, I'm meteorologist Heather Zaire.
Well, how is that? Pretty good?
Yeah, great.
Can you tell I went to broadcasting school? Can you tell I've been doing this for a while?
Wow.
1017 FM. 1017 FM and 710 Keel. Robert J. Wright and Erin McCarty, 742.
We're joined by Jake Wood. He is with the Planet Aqua Group, the media team, I guess, and now helping with Cyport. Tell us the big announcement yesterday. A lot of people are worried Cyport's closing. Cyport's closing. That's not true, right?
Hello, Jake. Can you hear us okay?
Jake. Where's Jake?
Hello, Jake.
Hello, Jake. Are you there?
Jake, hello.
Hello.
Hey there, Jake.
That was a close one.
What is the news about Cyport? A lot of people are saying it's closing. That's not true, right?
That is absolutely correct. Cyport will remain open. It's going to open at 9 o'clock this morning and open through its regularly scheduled hours until Labor Day, so September 4th. is going to be the last day of operation for Cyport as it sits now. We'll keep the IMAX open through the renovation period, but it will be closed for renovations from September 5th through the end of the year.
What kind of renovations?
It's really going to be a new Cyport once you come into it. We've already started the planning processes, already started working with architects on new layouts for really a new and exciting concept for Cyport in itself. It's certainly time for us to provide some updates in that area, but we'll also maintain the core values that Cyport has always held over the past 19, coming into its 20th year of operation, of STEAM-based education, as well as the community enrichment that it holds. That's still going to be there. We're not taking that away, but it's going to have a new face and new functions, and there are going to be some operational structures that will be changed as well, that hopefully everyone who visits, not just the folks who come and visit from Shreveport Bossier, but the folks who come and visit, can really see a new change with Cyport, and continue visiting us because they feel that it's a new place.
Mr. Jake, Planet Aqua Group is taking over. Do I understand that correctly? They will be the management team in place. Who approached who about this deal?
So it was a funny way that it worked out, Robert. We had originally approached Cyport when we first began construction on the aquarium, and a sort of a, hey, we're across the street neighbors, why don't we talk about maybe some joint ticketing, joint events? And as it was explained in the press conference yesterday afternoon, as those conversations evolved, it sort of became like a middle school dance. You're both standing on opposite sides of the gym, wanting the other one to come to the table, and it just takes that first person to say, hey, I think we might have a great opportunity here to work out a management deal with Planet Aqua Group.
What were the employees told, Jake, and what is in their future? What have they been told, and what's happening with them?
So the employees that are there after the September 4th final day of operation, September 5th will be the final day for the employees that are there. The employees will be laid off during this closure, because obviously we don't have anything for the employees to do for those 4 months that it'll be closed. However, the employees are all welcomed back to come and join us at our job fair for Cyport. Right now it's tentatively planned for November, and we're going to use this opportunity because it's an entire organizational restructuring that's going. Pardon me, Jake.
Just to clarify,
Sure.
You said they're invited back. They will have jobs when you reopen, or they can apply for their old ones.
They will be invited to apply for the jobs that are available at Cyport whenever it is going to reopen. Because of that restructuring, the positions will change.
Say the 72 jobs now. Will there still be 72 jobs, or you expect that number to decrease a little?
That number will very likely decrease. There's some overlaps that we've found, and some excuse me, some areas where we feel like we can make some positions a little bit more efficient. And that's just part of that restructuring that we're looking at on the organizational side, to make sure that we're going to operate this in the best way possible, in the best interest of the board and the city.
Jake, what were the problems that you guys feel that Planet Aqua can solve that the current management team couldn't take care of?
Well, we certainly don't feel like the current management team that's in place was doing anything wrong. There's no malice or ill will that we have for the folks that were there. Planet Aqua Group is uniquely positioned in that the folks behind the company have come from the four corners of the country and have unique experience from organizations like Legoland, Madame Tussauds, Sea Life. So these large companies that operate all over the country. Merlin Entertainment owns Madame Tussauds and Legoland, Sea Life. They're the second largest entertainment company and attractions company in the world. And so several of the members of Planet Aqua Group have worked for Merlin and have worked for other organizations like Disney. And so they're able to really take what they've seen that works across the country and to say, okay, how can we make this work in Shreveport? What will work in Shreveport?
Okay, Jake,
What
our
won't
final
work?
minute here. Everybody wants to know, Sciport's been having financial troubles. Who's paying for this remodel and this renew of Scyport? Are you bringing a Wells Fargo truck with cash over there?
That what I can say is public funds won't be used to pay Planet Aqua Group. I don't know the details of the financials yet, but I do know that we as Planet Aqua Group are not being paid with taxpayer dollars.
But who's got the pile of money to do the revamp? I mean, is Planet Aqua Group going to put some up? Does Scyport have some?
That I'm not sure right now. We're working with the board of directors on locating the funding for the revamp. I know that they have a plan in place. They're still the governing body of Scyport.
Jake, pardon me just a second.
Reporting to them as a manager.
Pardon me just a second. If you don't know how much money you have or where the money's coming from, how cemented, how firm can your plans for renovation be?
Now, I'm saying, Robert, that I don't know where the money is coming from. I'm sure that the board does.
Okay. When is the aquarium opening? It's pretty imminent, right?
Yep, the aquarium opening is coming down the pipeline. We're looking at putting some water in here this week is what we're looking at. They're finishing up painting some of the corals that are going into the tanks, and then as soon as that water gets in, we can begin the conditioning process. Right now, we're still targeted for August 31st, but again, that is contingent on that environment being conditioned for the sea life that's going into it.
Okay, one more thing about Scyport. Memberships, people that have these year-long memberships, what's happening with them? They're losing 4 months of that.
So their memberships will be extended once we open, and we're in the process of reaching out to all of the members by email to let them know about the next steps. And we'll be in constant contact with the members throughout the process. That way they know exactly what's going on with their membership, and they can rest assured that they aren't going to get the value for their money.
Jake Wood, thank you for having your big boy britches on. We appreciate it.
Thanks, Erin.
749, 1017 FM, 710 KEEL. Traffic update coming up right now. Here's Ruben on KEEL.
Looking right now at some slow-moving traffic on Uri Drive and Southfield Road. And we have some traffic delays on Shed Road near Swan Lake Road in Bossier City. If you have any accidents, hazards, or closures to report to us, please give us a call at our Planet Fitness Traffic Hotline, 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather.com forecast, partly sunny today, a thunderstorm or two around this afternoon, high 92. Partly to mostly cloudy, low 77 tonight. With your AccuWeather.com forecast, I'm meteorologist Heather Zayer.
Good morning from the sports desk of 1130 The Tiger. This is Tim Fletcher. All three local golfers in the U.S. Amateur were eliminated on Wednesday. Sam Burns was knocked out by Shea Wools-Cobb 2-1. Burns won the 15th and 16th hole but needed to win 17 and 18 to force extra holes. Nathan Johnson was eliminated 3-2 after the opponent he was facing reeled off wins on the 14th, 15th, and 16th holes. But the just gut-wrenching match of the day, Philip Barbary Jr. falls one up to Will Zalatoris, who rolled in an incredible birdie putt on 18 to take the win. Zalatoris also chipped in for birdies on 10 and 12 and rolled in yet another long birdie on 11 to maintain pace with Barbary before putting him away on 18. The Texas Rangers doubled up the Detroit Tigers 12-6 on Wednesday. Nomar Mazara had a 2-run home run in the second and added an RBI in the 6th inning as well. Joey Gallo crushed yet another homer as well in the 8th inning. Former LSU Tiger Mikey Matuk had a 2-run homer for the Tigers. He's hitting .300 for the year. The Astros beat the Diamondbacks 9-6. Carlos Beltran had a homer in the second inning, and the Astros put 4 runs on the board in the third, 4 runs on the board in the 8th to take the 9-6 win. And the Saints have fired their team orthopedist after they misdiagnosed Delvin Breaux's injury, calling it a contusion when actually he had a broken leg. From the sports desk of 1130 The Tiger, this is Tim Fletcher.
It is 7:55, 101.7 FM, 710 Keel. So I'm watching. God, I don't know what it was. I can't remember, and I can't think of the guy's name because I made a point to remember it, which immediately means I'll forget. It was a former New York City cop, and he was talking about Charlottesville on Saturday and the violence between the white supremacists and the Antifa people. And he basically said that the fault for the violence, he said, well, first of all, he said that just both groups are a
crazy nuts.
Bunch of jerks, which you're not allowed to say, by the way. But especially when referring to Antifa, but we'll cover that later.
Okay.
Basically, he said the reason for the violence lays at the feet of the Charlottesville police. The interview said, the interviewer said, what are you talking about? He said, if this were New York City, if this were any other big city, or city for that matter, and they knew what they were doing, meaning the police, he said those two groups wouldn't have been within 200 yards of each other.
Oh, wow.
He said
put up barricades or something?
He said there were no. He said, well, yes, there would be lines of police. Remember, we were talking about the marches, the Nazi marches in Skokie and then Chicago.
Yes.
And how they literally were surrounded by police officers to keep them from being attacked, to, as distasteful as it may seem, to enforce their First Amendment freedom of speech rights.
Unbelievable.
But he said if those cops knew what they had doing, knew what they were doing, those groups wouldn't have been within 200 yards of each other.
If you're just getting up, no Powerball winner, so my jackpot for Saturday night is $510 million.
Got to go, kids. 7:57. Here's Hannity on KEEL.
Your morning cup of Sean. This is the Sean Hannity Morning Minute.
The Daily Caller reports the Obama administration actually knew about Russian attempts to interfere with Western elections as early as 2014. And guess what they did? Nothing. 2014 report presented to the administration described, quote, a disruption apparatus spanning the U.S., Europe. Although it didn't specifically mention a Kremlin threat to the U.S. in the 2016 election, they just warned everybody. Now, the truth is nobody wanted to piss off the Russians, a former intelligence official told Politico. The Obama administration similarly did not entertain the request of U.S. intelligence and the community to shutter 2 Russian spy compounds in the U.S. prior to the election. election. Secretary Kerry refused to consider it. Well, what else do you expect from a president caught on a hot mic saying, hey, tell Vladimir I'll have more flexibility after the election. Tell Vladimir.
The Conservative Underground meets later today on the Sean Hannity Show.
You know, most of you, my listeners, remember a time way, way, way back when everyone in your family gathered around the living room or dining table and you just talked. There were no distractions, no phones, no gadgets, no texting, no email. You just gathered around the table, talked and laughed, and created memories. Now it seems like those times are few and far between. And as parents today, we constantly tell our kids, put those phones down so we can all talk. Well, now there's a game I've been talking about for years. It's called the Wits and Wagers Party Game. And the most frequent feedback I get from you, my listeners, is this, quote, as soon as we start playing, everyone actually does put their phones down and plays. And we finally connect as a family, and we create memories. Now, I played Wits and Wagers for years with my family. No game is ever going to bring your family together like this game. It's like no other game you've ever played. It's highly, highly recommended. So much fun. And right now, Wits and Wagers is on sale at Target for $5 off. So get Wits and Wagers at Target before they sell out at this price. That's Wits and Wagers, $5 off at Target.
Good morning, 759, 1017 FM, 710 Keel. Latest traffic update. Here's Ruben.
Starting to see some of that backed up traffic on I-20 westbound at Spring and Market. And we're looking at some traffic delays on Mansfield Road and West 70th Street. If you know something we don't, accidents, hazards, or closures, please give us a call at our Planet Fitness Traffic Hotline, 687-ROAD.
759, here's your KeelAccuWeather.com forecast. Kind of sunny, a few clouds later today, a small chance of mid-afternoon rain. Hot and humid again today in the low 90s. Right now, 77 at Keel. It's 8 o'clock and time for Fox News.
Breaking news and trending talk. This is 1017 FM and 710 Keel. KEEL, Shreveport.
Good morning, 3 past 8. Robert and Erin, 1017 FM, 710 Keel. Erin, local news. She looks all set.
Big news about Cyport in Shreveport. We'll talk more about that. Any winner in the Powerball drawing last night? We'll have that too. And the governor is really upset about something.
Okay, Lisa Johnson from the Bossier Chamber joins us in just a couple of seconds.
Mm-hmm.
And I still want to talk about that meme that's on Facebook about where it shows the World War II soldiers and says, "These guys didn't need a permit to fight fascism."
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we'll discuss that in some detail, plus Fletcher and sports, traffic, and weather, all coming up this hour, and it's right here on KEEL. Maloney Door and Ironworks, raising garage door standards one home at a time.
The KEEL Morning Report, now on 1017 FM and 710 KEEL.
Cyport in Shreveport is shutting down while its nonprofit board makes management changes. The Planet Aqua Group, who is opening an aquarium at the old Barnwell, will take over management of Cyport. The board of directors will pay $113,000 a year to Planet Aqua to run the facility. Now, because of the changes, all 72 Cyport employees are being let go. The new management company is planning a job fair to hire new workers for when the Science Center reopens. No Powerball winner last night, so the jackpot climbs to $510 million, the sixth largest jackpot in U.S. history. A man's been arrested in connection with two shootings. Matt Parker has that.
Tyvon Taylor has been arrested in connection with two Shreveport shootings from earlier this year. Detectives believe that Taylor is responsible for a July 31st shooting on Buncombe Road and an August 12th shooting where two people were wounded. Taylor faces several charges, including attempted second-degree murder and illegal use of a weapon. Taylor is also a suspect in several other crimes, and more charges are expected. From 1017 FM and 710 KEEL, I'm Matt Parker.
Two men seriously hurt in an explosion at the Impressa Energy Plant in Benton. Fire Chief J.T. Wallace says the men suffered second- and third-degree burns to the upper halves of their bodies. The explosion happened when an employee accidentally bumped into a tank, exposing a highly combustible gas to an open flame. A state appeals court has reduced 76-year-old Roy Robertson's life sentence to 20 years. Robertson was convicted of repeatedly raping 3 young girls, ranging in ages from 6 to 14. 2 of the victims lived with Robertson locally in Caddo Parish. Now, due to the court's reduction of Robertson's sentence, he will become eligible for parole. Governor John Bell Edwards expressing disappointment that former Klan leader and former state rep David Duke is once again making national headlines. He says he doesn't want Louisiana to be colored by that bigotry because Duke does not represent our state.
Everybody who knows much about him knows that he's from here. But that sort of hatred, bigotry, racism is not who we are as a state, and it is embarrassing.
Caddo Commission meeting today. The future of the Confederate monument in front of the courthouse is not officially on the agenda, but there is a plan to build a fence around the courthouse. That is one item up for discussion. Meantime, the mayor of Dallas has appointed a committee to look at the future of Confederate monuments across his city.
I believe this problem that we face is really a gift that has been given us, and that we need to take advantage of this gift to learn how we listen to one another and not get caught up into wedge issues.
Mike Rawlings calling for a task force to study the issue of what to do about the public Confederate monuments in Lee Park and Pioneer Plaza. He expects a report in 90 days. China has warned there is no winner in a trade war after an aide to President Trump advocated a tougher stance toward Beijing in public comments. Turns out the mishap Tom Cruise had on the set of Mission Impossible 6 was serious enough to shut down production of the movie. Paramount says Cruise broke his ankle while performing a stunt for the film during a London-based shoot. Partly cloudy, could see some showers today, high near 92 degrees. It's 75 now. I'm Erin McCarty on 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL.
Nine past 7 o'clock, 101.7 FM, 710 KEEL traffic update. Ruben's here.
Still keeping an eye on that major accident on I-49 northbound, just south of West 70th Street. It's backed up past 3132 right now. And we have some heavy backed up traffic on I-20 westbound near Spring and Market. If you have anything to report to us, please give us a call at our Planet Fitness traffic hotline, 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather.com forecast, a thunderstorm or two around for this afternoon. Otherwise partly sunny, high 92 today. Some clouds and a low of 77 tonight. With your AccuWeather.com forecast, I'm meteorologist Heather Zaire.
Okay, 12 past 8 o'clock.
Yeah, not 7 o'clock.
It all runs together. 12 past 8 o'clock, 101.7 FM, 710 KEEL, and the KEEL app is a free download and presented by Office Furniture Source.
Joined by Lisa Johnson, the head cheese of the Bossier Chamber of Commerce.
It's what her business card says.
Yeah, does it say that on it?
It's awesome.
Something like that.
You
are
here.
See her photo.
You are here because your legislative summit is coming up next week, where you're gathering all the area lawmakers, and you have some big shots here too for this event. Tell us when it is and who can show up.
Yeah, this is our annual legislative summit, so where we get everyone together after the session. And we've learned that you have to do it a little bit later, because as soon as they're out of the state capitol, they're on vacation. It's like, need a break. So it's in August, and it's the Northwest Louisiana Legislative summit, and we bring in all of our area regional partners, our the area chambers of commerce, so the Shreveport Chamber of Commerce, the Minden Chamber of Commerce, the African American Chamber of Commerce, and NLEP and Greater Bossier Economic Development Foundation.
That's all?
SBBA.
Oh my gosh,
and
try harder.
I know.
And it's August 22nd.
It
is.
is. August is Tuesday the 22nd, so this coming Tuesday from 11:30 to 1, and this year we're at the Municipal Auditorium.
Can anyone go? Just buy a ticket?
Just buy a ticket. Just need to go to the Bossier Chamber website and buy a ticket. And the tickets are $50, and of course lunch is included, and it's going to be catered by Drake Catering.
Is the goal to build bridges? Is the goal to influence legislation? Is the goal for area chamber members and chamber leaders and business folks to tell legislators what they think they've done right or wrong?
Absolutely. It's all of that. And but we bring in, so last year we brought in the governor. We hosted the governor in Bossier at the Bossier Civic Center, and this year we're hosting the joint leadership. And so that means the president of the Senate, so Senator John Alario, the Speaker of the House, Representative Taylor Barra, and so the two of those are our keynote speakers, but we will also have in the audience the chairman of the Senate Finance, and that is Senator LaFleur, and then we also will have from the House side the Appropriations Chair, Representative Cameron Henry. So having these folks in town to share with us what their vision is and for the future, because we have this fiscal cliff
historically
coming up.
Historically, do you find they're good listeners?
Well, historically, I do find that they are good listeners. And I've talked about that in different committee meetings that I've been here, because it's like, are they hearing our story? Are they hearing our story? And after you've been doing this, and I've not been doing it near as long as many other people, but I've been at the Chamber for 13 years and really heavily into the government relations for the business community for at least, 11 years or so. And they do, but when they have to pass a balanced budget and it gets down to that, then they have to make very hard and difficult decisions. We have to remember that the state, over however many years, the state legislature has passed the buck, if you will, to the people, and sometimes appropriately, maybe sometimes not, to pass a dedication, a constitutional amendment. So we have more than the majority of our budget is dedicated by constitutional amendment. So there's a very small portion that they really can work with.
I guess the point I was going to make was I can't imagine that when, say, John Alario comes to town, who has been sort of the front man for John Bell's tax-raising initiatives,
right,
that a whole bunch of people from chambers of commerce, from businesses all over this part of the state are going to stand up and say, Mr. Alario, we don't think it's our feeling that we're not giving the state enough of our money. I just bet that doesn't happen.
Yeah, there is apathy there. There is uncertainty. There is anger, if you will, and and that's why we have
which means this is an awesome get together.
It's an awesome get together, and that's why we have John Alario and Taylor Barra both coming to speak. And we surveyed our membership, and our membership within the Bossier Chamber clearly stated that the state has a spending problem, not a revenue problem. So
they want to see more cuts. Your members want more cuts.
They do.
What about gas tax? Where were they on increasing the gas tax?
On the gas tax, early on, because our infrastructure is so broke and is hurting so desperately, our membership and our board of directors was leaning towards supporting that in some form or fashion. But when it came out that they were looking at a 10-cent gas tax, and there wasn't even a bill filed for it, one point there. And the second point is then too, when the governor came out with his corporate activity tax, my leadership and members went, whoa, wait a minute, let's back up and let's look at everything, because, they went through a really good exercise of a tax reform committee, tax structural committee, and those recommendations weren't even looked at with the corporate when the corporate activity tax was presented.
What about the 1 penny sales tax that's supposed to go off the books? Business community, are they in favor of that tax continuing, or do they want it to be temporary like it was promised?
As of right now, it is that they want it to be temporary as it was promised. And it's unfortunate that the state of Louisiana sits at such a low level when it comes to other states, or if you will, a high level of the taxes that we have in this state. And we have got to make some really strong fiscal reforms. I think after several years of doing this, with Governor John Bel Edwards coming in, and people either love him or they hate him, just to be very frank about it.
Oh, no, I know a lot of people are indifferent.
That's right. That's right. They either love him or they hate him. But what he has done, to an extent, has brought some clear transparency to the true fiscal problems. No more Band-Aids of what's going on. But is increase in revenue the answer? Not necessarily.
We've got just about a minute or so. Do I also see on your list that Senators Cassidy and Kennedy will be here also?
Oh, absolutely. We have the month of August, or August legislative events. So we have Senator Kennedy, which is by an RSVP only, and that is for chamber members only, on Thursday, August 24th at the CSRA. U.S. Senator Cassidy on Wednesday, August 30th, and that is a ticketed event, and that is for chamber members. That's 8:30 to 10 at Shane's Seafood. And then we have U.S. Congressman Johnson, who is coming in September. We just booked that date yesterday, so look for those details to be following.
Will Senator Cassidy be fielding questions?
He will be fielding questions within the
allotted time.
The allotted time, and the crowd that is there. The Bossier Chamber reaches out to all of our elected officials, local, state, and federal. So we do a State of Bossier address in the spring. We're doing a State of Education here in the fall for our local officials, and then it's important that we have the state come in and the federal to tell us what's happening, so we can then share our story as well.
Sounds to me like the Bossier Chamber is very, very busy and very, very accomplished, probably in great part to the head cheese.
Oh, well, thank you. Y'all got me up quite early this morning, but it's
Lisa
all right.
Friday Johnson.
Tuesday, your legislative summit, John Alario, Taylor Barra, big event. You can get your tickets now. Just go to the Bossier Chamber website.
That's right. Tickets are open until tomorrow.
This will all be up on the website later at KEELnews.com. Thank you, Miss Lisa. Always a pleasure. 21 past 8 o'clock, 101.7 FM, 710 KEEL traffic. Now, here's Ruben.
Still keeping an eye on that major accident on I-49 northbound, just south of West 70th Street. It's backed up past 3132 right now. And we have some heavy backed up traffic on I-20 westbound near Spring and Market. If you have anything to report to us, please give us a call at our Planet Fitness traffic hotline, 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather.com forecast, a thunderstorm or two around for this afternoon. Otherwise partly sunny, high 92 today. Some clouds and a low of 77 tonight. With your AccuWeather.com forecast, I'm meteorologist Heather Zaire.
23 past 8 o'clock, time for sports. Here's Fletch.
Good morning from the sports desk of 1130 The Tiger. This is Tim Fletcher. All three local golfers in the U.S. Amateur were eliminated on Wednesday. Sam Burns was knocked out by Shea Wools Cobb 2-1. Burns won the 15th and 16th hole but needed to win 17 and 18 to force extra holes. Nathan Johnson was eliminated 3-2 after the opponent he was facing reeled off wins on the 14th, 15th, and 16th holes. But the just gut-wrenching match of the day, Philip Barbary Jr. falls one up to Will Zalatoris, who rolled in an incredible birdie putt on 18 to take the win. Zalatoris also chipped in for birdies on 10 and 12 and rolled in yet another long birdie on 11 to maintain pace with Barbary before putting him away on 18. The Texas Rangers doubled up the Detroit Tigers 12-6 on Wednesday. Nomar Mazara had a two-run home run in the second and added an RBI in the sixth inning as well. Joey Gallo crushed yet another homer as well in the eighth inning. Former LSU Tiger Mikey Matuk had a two-run homer for the Tigers. He's hitting .300 for the year. The Astros beat the Diamondbacks 9-6. Carlos Beltran had a homer in the second inning, and the Astros put 4 runs on the board in the third, 4 runs on the board in the eighth to take the 9-6 win. And the Saints have fired their team orthopedist after they misdiagnosed Delvin Breaux's injury, calling it a contusion when actually he had a broken leg. From the sports desk of 1130 The Tiger, this is Tim Fletcher.
Twenty-four past 8 o'clock. Robert and Erin, 101.7 FM 710 KEEL. The Inquisition. What did I say yesterday? Once you start an inquisition, it's hard to stop.
Yes.
The Inquisition has begun. The Inquisition has begun, but only of Republicans by the mainstream media. Are you going to denounce Nazis? Are you going to denounce the white supremacists? Talk about the low-hanging fruit on the tree of hate. Who doesn't do that? And yet, on every network last night, the night before, and the night before that, Donald Trump is a white supremacist. Wait a second.
Holy moly.
Wait a second. Let's walk through this. If Donald Trump is a white supremacist and hates blacks and Catholics and Jews, wait a second.
He hates his own grandchildren?
That was the point I was going to make.
I don't think so.
Jared Kushner, Donald Trump's son-in-law, is Jewish.
That means his grandchildren are at least half Jewish.
Just hang on a second. Let me put this as bluntly yet tastefully as I can. According to the mainstream media, Donald Trump is a white supremacist and hates Jews. But the only good Jew in the world is the guy who's sleeping with his daughter? Wait a second.
No.
The only good Jew, the only Jew in the world that Donald Trump can stomach out of all the Jews is the one who's in bed with his daughter.
Just crazy.
If Donald Trump really, really was a white supremacist, if he really, really hated Jews, that would be the one he'd hate the most.
Yeah. Get away from my daughter.
Daddy, I have some news. I have a new boyfriend. His name's Jared, and he's Jewish. Oh, well, convince me he's the one good. No.
No.
That guy would have vanished 5 years ago.
It's people that are saying those kind of things that I wish The extremists on both sides,
Wait,
I wish we could just ignore them.
Pardon me.
And they fall off the face of the earth.
See, you are now, according to the mainstream media.
They make me crazy.
Stop a second and listen. Because you just said on both sides.
Oh, that makes me racist?
That makes you a Nazi sympathizer and a white supremacist.
So I hate Jews too?
If you don't embrace the Antifa movement, if you say...
No, they're violent.
If you say there are bad people on both sides...
There are. And 95% of the people listening to us, probably 99%, agree with me. There are bad people on both ends of this extreme.
Hate.
I guess we're all haters.
Coming from the other end of the gopher-shaped broadcast table. 28 past 8 o'clock, 101.7 FM, 710 Keel. Robert and Erin, local news on the way, and traffic and weather updates just a hair away. .101.7 FM, 710 Keel. Local news is up next right now. Rapid Ruben.
Still keeping an eye on that major accident on I-49 northbound, just south of West 70th Street. It's backed up past 3132 right now. And we have some heavy backed up traffic on I-20 westbound near Spring and Market. If you have anything to report to us, please give us a call at our Planet Fitness traffic hotline, 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather.com forecast, a thunderstorm or two around for this afternoon. Otherwise partly sunny, high 92 today. Some clouds and a low of 77 tonight. With your AccuWeather.com forecast, I'm meteorologist Heather Zayer.
The power of information. KEEL News now.
Still no winner after last night's $430 million Powerball drawing.
For your winning Powerball number, we have 4 tonight, and that power play multiplier is 3.
The next drawing for Saturday night is up to $510 million, the 6th largest in U.S. history. A man's been arrested in connection with 2 shootings. Tyvon Taylor arrested in connection with shootings from earlier this year in Shreveport. Detectives believe Taylor is responsible for a July 31st shooting on Buncombe Road and an August 12th shooting where 2 people were wounded. Taylor faces several charges, including attempted second-degree murder and illegal use of a weapon. 2 men seriously hurt in an explosion at the Impressa energy plant in Benton. Fire Chief J.T. Wallace says the men suffered second- and third-degree burns to the upper halves of their bodies. The explosion happened when an employee accidentally bumped into a tank, exposing a highly combustible gas to an open flame. A local kids museum abruptly closing its doors. Matt Parker has that.
Sci-Port and Shreveport has shut down while its nonprofit board makes some management changes. The Planet Aqua Group, who is opening an aquarium at the old Barnwell Center, will take over management of Sci-Port. The board of directors will pay $113,000 a year to Planet Aqua to run the facility. Because of the changes, all Sci-Port employees are being let go. The new management company is planning a job fair to hire new workers for when the Science Center reopens. From 101.7 FM and 710 Keel, I'm Matt Parker.
Counsel for a Better Louisiana president, Barry Irwin, says we now know that Superintendent of Education John White had no reason to worry about his job. White got a 3 out of 4 rating from Bessie, which is considered effective and proficient. Irwin says clearly there are those who wanted White to lose his job.
They've tried through lawsuits. They want to have some kind of confirmation hearing, which the law doesn't really allow in the particular setting we're in. So there are people that want to get rid of John White, and that's kind of been that way for a while. But he works for Bessie.
Republican leaders condemning the messages of hate and bigotry carried by the KKK and white supremacists, but tiptoeing around President Trump's extraordinary comments on the matter. The statements reflect the party's establishment's delicate dance. Few top Republican office holders are defending the president, yet they're unwilling to declare all-out war against Trump and risk alienating his loyalists. Tickets have been selling so well for comedian Kevin Hart's show at the Municipal that officials have added a third performance. That'll happen Saturday, October 21st at 10 p.m. Tickets are on sale online at Ticketmaster or at the Shreveport Convention Center. Partly cloudy, today's high about 92, maybe a shower popping up. Right now it's 77. I'm Erin McCarty on 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL.
Think you got a handle on this match play golf thing now?
Semi.
101.7 FM 710 KEEL. Bad news for the Shreveport trio from LSU.
Okay.
At the U.S. Amateur Golf in Los Angeles area yesterday.
I just want to get this 2-1 winning.
We'll get to
golf.
that. Let me run down this. See, there were 3 Shreveport guys there. Nathan Johnson and Philip Barbary Jr. and the highly touted Sam Burns.
Right.
Burns lost to a guy named Shea Wolves Cobb. 2-1. Don't ask yet. I'll explain in a minute.
Right.
Just anybody who knows golf knows what I'm talking about. Okay. Philip Barbary lost to a fella named Will Zalatoris. That was 1 down. He lost by don't you confuse me by looking at me. Stop it.
I know.
And Nathan Johnson lost to Arthur Griffin 3-2. Now, what do you want to know?
2-1.
Okay, see, it's the USAM, so what they started off with was a whole bunch of players. And they do 2 days of medal play, stroke play, i.e. just like a regular tournament that you see on the weekend. Then at the end of those 2 days, the top 64 scores move on to match play. By match play, I mean imagine in your head an NCAA basketball bracket. You with me?
Gotcha.
64.
I see all the teams.
32.
Yeah.
16.
Yeah.
8, 4, 2,
Final
1.
4, yeah. Okay.
Okay. That's how that works.
So what's the 2-1 thing?
Okay. So Arthur Griffin beat Nathan Johnson 3-2. That means now they play holes. It's not strokes, it's holes.
Each of us, we tee off, we play a hole.
On the first,
whoever wins that hole gets a point?
Gets the hole. Just a hole.
Like I won hole 1.
Yes. Let's say on the first hole, you make a birdie, I make a bogey. You're 1 up.
Okay, so
it's
1-0.
Close enough.
Okay.
Arthur Griffin defeated Nathan Johnson 3-2, meaning he was 3 holes ahead with only 2 to play.
Oh, so he couldn't catch him.
Exactly.
He's 3 holes ahead.
Yes.
And they only had 2 holes left.
So
do they finish it or do they just walk off?
No, they just stop.
They stop.
Yeah, you get off.
They go
early.
home.
Mm-hmm. Well, they don't. Well, Nathan goes home. Sadly, the other guy stays.
Okay, I got you.
You got
so
this?
2-1.
2 holes
just
ahead.
2 holes ahead with 1 hole left.
You got this, kid.
So it's not catchable.
No.
Like if you hit a hole in 1, you don't get 2 points.
No.
Nothing like that.
Nope.
I'm trying to confuse it.
I know.
It's not working.
This is awesome.
Okay.
Do you have any more questions?
So how many are left now?
32 guys left.
Okay.
And they play today, then they'll play again tomorrow.
How do they play like 200 guys through one course?
There's only 64 now, and it was on a couple of courses.
Okay, so they whittled them down. But all our local guys lost?
Yeah.
Well, that sucks.
Yeah. Now, next for Sam Burns, who was SEC Player of the Year and First Team All-American, he has already announced that he's going to turn pro.
Right.
He still has the Walker Cup tournament, the Walker Cup matches to play. I think it's mid-September.
Is that amateur stuff?
Yes, it is. You know what the Ryder Cup is, right?
Of course, yeah.
Okay, the Walker Cup is sort of the amateur version of the Ryder Cup. He wants to stay amateur, maintain his amateur status through that, and then he will
go
give
for the checks.
the PGA Tour a shot. And
He'll
see
do
how
well.
that goes.
He'll do well.
838, 1017 FM, 710 Keel traffic and weather. Let's go to traffic right now. Here's Ruben on Keel.
The intersection at Juella Avenue and Lakeshore Drive is dealing with some slow-moving traffic right now. And we have some traffic delays on East Texas Street near Traffic Street in Bossier City. If you have anything to report to us, accidents, hazards, or closures, give us a call at our Planet Fitness Traffic Hotline, 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather.com forecast, partly sunny today, a thunderstorm or two around this afternoon, high 92. Partly to mostly cloudy, low 77 tonight. With your AccuWeather.com forecast, I'm meteorologist Heather Zayer.
Good morning. It's 841. Robert and Erin, 1017 FM, 710 Keel. GeekCon kicks off tomorrow at the Shreveport Convention Center, runs Saturday and Sunday. Friday evening, Saturday all day, Sunday all day. I put a post up last night at keelnews.com. The guy who's coming to GeekCon that radio people want to meet. And it's Billy West.
Oh, the voice guy?
He's so amazing.
It's imagine, literally, and this is not an exaggeration, Mel Blanc for a new generation. And in fact, he does for Looney Tunes, for Warner Brothers, a lot of the old Mel Blanc voices, including Elmer Fudd and a couple of others. In fact, you have to let me know when this is. If I'm not working, I will be there. I mean, this guy is, when I tell you, in the world of animation, there is nobody in this guy's zip code. There's nobody. I mean, there's a lot of talented people. And the reason all of us in radio want to see this guy and meet this guy is because we make our living with our voices.
Yes.
To some degree, our mind.
All of our great accents.
This guy does everything from strawberry shortcake to
Ren and Stimpy stuff.
But
he's the red M&M.
Hold on a second. Just imagine the range of one guy who can do strawberry shortcake and he can do In a World. He does movie trailers.
Yeah.
I mean, the range is absolutely amazing. The old guy was, and he's passed away, that you would always hear on the movie trailers, In a World Where Matt's Wearing No Pants. That guy's name was Don LaFontaine. Okay?
Yes.
But he was a one-trick pony. It was an amazing pony. I mean, he was like the Chris Martin. He was like the Coldplay of voiceover guys. It's a great song, but you've only got one song.
Mm-hmm.
Don LaFontaine making $2 or $3 million a year, but he's only got one read. It was an awesome read, but it was only one read. Billy West has, it's literally, he's everything from, imagine somebody who can sing basso profundo and soprano in the same person.
Yes.
You know what the fun fact about Billy West is? You know how he got his start doing
No.
voiceovers?
In fact, if I got to interview him and I heard the replay of Greg's interview yesterday, I would want to say, what was the first voice you did that you got paid for?
Well, he started out as a radio guy.
Yes.
He won a contest because they were doing a voice contest. Hey, who can do the best impression of somebody? And he called into the radio station
And
and
he got
won the
hired by a
contest.
station in
and then
Boston.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that's how he got started in the industry.
I mean, he's...
you know, GeeksCon has so many cool people, but little did I know, I am hanging out with Hacksaw Jim Duggan is who I'm going to be helping out.
I assume that's a wrestler?
Yes. I texted my two nephews who are twins. They're Matt's age. They're 28, 29. I texted them that I'm going to be hanging out with Hacksaw. They both nearly fell out. And they're like, are you freaking kidding me? You're going to be able to meet Hacksaw Jim Duggan? They're going crazy.
My knowledge of, I'm giving myself a break here to say I know nothing about the world of wrestling is giving me too much credit.
Well, if you are a wrestling fan or just a fan of Shreveport, Hacksaw Jim Duggan's career really started here because he got his first big break in the industry working for Mid-South Wrestling.
I was going to say, that was the old Mid-South.
Who ran through here, New Orleans, and you know, the surrounding areas, but he won a couple of his championships right here in Shreveport, and a lot of the major moments in his career that built him up
Pardon me, I don't know. How old is he? He's retired? Is he still...
He works part-time. You know, he'll do appearances and occasionally have like a run-in or whatever at an independent show, but he's a WWE Hall of Famer. He's been a U.S. champion. He's won all sorts of belts.
One of my nephews said, you'll have to ask him about your dear friend, Dr. Death, because they were good buddies. I did not know that.
Well,
Steve Williams, the late Steve Williams.
A lot of those guys, especially back in the day, would ride the roads together when you're going from town to town, and they were riding buddies because, you know, they were working the same circuit with Mid-South.
What I want to know is he's famous for carrying a 2x4 and the American flag. So I want to know, can I bring a 2x4 into GeeksCon so he can sign it?
So he can autograph your 2x4?
Yeah, is that like a
Why
weapon?
don't you just get a big chunk of styrofoam and hope for the best?
Okay.
Who is it you're looking forward to? Who is it you are looking forward to meeting the most? Because, I mean, Lou Ferrigno is going to be there.
Lou is going to be,
Gil Gerard from Buck Rogers in the 25th Century. Sam J. Jones, just because I have a lot of questions about Ted. Okay, he was...
Oh, yeah. He was the Flash Gordon character.
Well, he was Flash Gordon like when he was 25 years old.
Oh, I forgot about him.
Now he's about my age, but he was in both the Ted movies.
Yeah.
Which are hysterically funny.
Right. I've just got to go today. I've got to go and make sure that my Catwoman suit fits. And look for me. I'll be Catwoman You can't miss me.
No,
Yeah.
I didn't know you had a Catwoman
It's like
suit.
Garfield meets Catwoman. It's kind of what it's going to look like.
Speaking of which, do we know if Cedric's coming this year?
I don't know. We'll have to ask him.
I know, what was it, last year? The first year we did GeekCon, he dressed up and was all pumped about
excited,
it. He's a huge, I know, Game of Thrones guy.
He's a major geek fan. I mean, our community, like I said yesterday, we reek geek.
Okay, so a lot of people you would not or expect are big comic book people too, including this guy, who I would say, am I overstating to say you are in the Arklatex, one of the top 10 comic book experts in?
I wouldn't. No.
But truthfully, if I don't win the Powerball tomorrow, my next thing is break into his house and steal his comic book.
I will shoot you. But you know your stuff.
I know a little bit.
So
about
who's coming this year? That if you're into the comic books and stuff, graphic novels. Because I know that
there are a lot of cool artists.
The thing that amazed me about it exactly is these people that I, as just a regular lay person, have never heard of, and they do for DC and Marvel and all the comic book brands. And what was the guy I sat with last year? And he literally, I mean, he's one of the most famous. God, I can't think of his name.
Well, we had George Perez last year.
No, that wasn't it. Keep going.
Roland Paris.
No, one more.
I don't.
Oh, boy.
An older fellow. The point being, he's one of the 5 or...
He was doing the lithographs right there at the table.
Yes.
It was amazing.
And for the reason the line was so long, I mean, it was extraordinarily long. And the reason because he was taking so much time for people and drawing for them original pieces of his art.
It's amazing.
It would be like Bill Joyce doing, and here's a Bill Joyce for you. Going, whoa! Exactly. 849, 1017 FM, 710 Keel. GeekCon is starting tomorrow, Saturday and Sunday at the Shreveport Convention Center. Look on the Keel website for ticket details. Here's Ruben.
Eastbound East Berkhoun's Industrial Loop near Fern Avenue is dealing with some slow-moving traffic right now. And we're still keeping an eye on that heavy backed-up traffic on I-49 North due to a major accident just south of West 70th Street. It's still backed up past 3132 right now. If you know something we don't, give us a call at our Planet Fitness Traffic Hotline, 687-ROAD.
.1017 FM, 710 Keel. It's time for sports. Here's Fletch.
Good morning from the sports desk of 11:30 The Tiger. This is Tim Fletcher. All 3 local golfers in the U.S. Amateur were eliminated on Wednesday. Sam Burns was knocked out by Shea, Wools, Cobb, 2-1. Burns won the 15th and 16th hole, but needed to win 17 and 18 to force extra holes. Nathan Johnson was eliminated 3-2 after the opponent he was facing reeled off wins on the 14th, 15th, and 16th holes. But the just gut-wrenching match of the day, Philip Barbary Jr. falls one up to Will Zalatoris, who rolled in an incredible birdie putt on 18 to take the win. Zalatoris also chipped in for birdies on 10 and 12 and rolled in yet another long birdie on 11 to maintain pace with Barbary before putting him away on 18. The Texas Rangers doubled up the Detroit Tigers 12-6 on Wednesday. Nomar Mazara had a 2-run home run in the second and added an RBI in the 6th inning as well. Joey Gallo crushed yet another homer as well in the 8th inning. Former LSU Tiger Mikey Matuk had a 2-run homer for the Tigers. He's hitting .300 for the year. The Astros beat the Diamondbacks 9-6. Carlos Beltran had a homer in the second inning, and the Astros put 4 runs on the board in the third, 4 runs on the board in the 8th to take the 9-6 win. And the Saints have fired their team orthopedist after they misdiagnosed Delvin Breaux's injury, calling it a contusion when actually he had a broken leg. From the sports desk of 1130 The Tiger, this is Tim Fletcher.
I forget there's a camera. 855, 1017 FM, 710 Keel, Robert and Erin. What was the text we got about Coldplay?
This came from one of my nephews who's listening down in South Louisiana.
Thank you.
He said he loved the reference Robert just made to Coldplay.
Look, I mentioned Chris Martin and Coldplay.
You're so mean to Chris Martin.
No, Chris Martin is, look, here's my thinking about Coldplay. They're an awesome band. Chris Martin is a great songwriter, but he's just got one song. Clocks, to me, the Coldplay song Clocks is still the best pop record of the 21st century. It's awesome, but all their, look, 1 1 1 2 2 2 2 2 2 3 3 3 1 1 1 2 2 2 2.
That's all of Coldplay songs?
Yes. Speed of Sound, Viva La Vida, or whatever the hell the name of it is, and Clocks. It's, don't get me wrong, it's a great song. It's an awesome song.
I've seen Coldplay in person. That's not the only song they play.
They've written a new one.
Yeah,
I've
they
got to
have two.
go. Back tomorrow morning, 6 till 9. Robert and Erin, 1017 FM, 710 Keel. Here's Kim Commando.
Today, a big secret that Amazon, eBay, and thousands of other online retailers don't want you to know. Kim Commando with your Thursday digital consumer tech update. Here's the secret. As it turns out, it's not just the convenience factor of the price that's sending online sales soaring while in-store retailers are hurting. There's something else. Researchers at the University of British Columbia find that people are more likely to buy something for pleasure at the spur of the moment on a touchscreen device like your phone, even when they weren't online specifically to shop, even when they're on a tight budget, and promise themselves to rein in spending. On the other hand, when on a desktop with no touchscreen, people are more likely to buy products only when needed. For reasons not quite understood, the experience of a touchscreen triggers a shopper's experiential thinking process, meaning they can somehow see or feel themselves using the product. Best advice, if you're on a budget, stay away from your smartphone. Get all the tech news updated all the time at news.komando.com. That's KOMANDO.
The next time you go to the grocery store, pay attention to how long it takes. Actually, don't waste your time. I'll tell you, too long. It's 2017, the days of going to the grocery store, battling for a parking space, and searching high and low for some obscure ingredient are over. It's time to say hello to HelloFresh, the meal kit delivery service that makes cooking healthy, delicious meals fun, easy, and convenient. Just go to HelloFresh.com, pick out the recipes you want, and they're delivered directly to your doorstep every week in a special insulated box, along with easy-to-follow step-by-step instructions and full-color pictures. Each HelloFresh box includes fresh, seasonal ingredients. No more wondering if you have the right amount. Just delicious meals that you can make in 30 minutes or less. And for a limited time, you can get $30 off your first box when you go to HelloFresh.com/Kim. Plus, free shipping. That's HelloFresh.com/Kim for $30 off. HelloFresh.com/Kim.
The KEEL app is brought to you by Office Furniture Source. Download the app today. KEEL.
Eastbound East Berkcoons Industrial Loop near Fern Avenue is dealing with some slow-moving traffic right now. And we're still keeping an eye on that heavy backed-up traffic on I-49 North due to a major accident just south of West 70th Street. It's still backed up past 3132 right now. If you know something we don't, give us a call at our Planet Fitness Traffic Hotline, 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather.com forecast, partly sunny today, a thunderstorm or two around this afternoon, high 92. Partly to mostly cloudy, low 77 tonight. With your AccuWeather.com forecast, I'm meteorologist Heather Zayer.
Right now, 81 degrees, 101.7 FM, 710 KEEL, it's 9 o'clock.
Breaking news and trending talk. This is 101.